We're live.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Kind of Funny's Kevin Smith's Askewniverse in Reviewniverse. This is the final episode. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been ranking and reviewing every movie in the Askewniverse on Tuesdays right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. On Fridays, we're doing the Lord of the Rings movies. You can go check those out on youtube.com/kindoffunny if you want to watch, or roosterteeth.com. You can also listen to all of this by searching for Kind of Funny reviews on your favorite podcast service. If you want to get it ad-free, you can go to patreon.com/kindoffunny, just like our Patreon producers did. Mohammed, Blackjack, Al Tribesman, and Connor Nolan. Thank you all. We appreciate you all very, very, very much. I'm Tim Gettys. Joining me today is Andy Cortez, Greg Miller.
Hello.
Nick Scarpino.
Pahoy hoy.
And the big dog, Kevin Coelho.
You know what I mean?
I like
I know
your
what you mean,
hat,
Kev.
I know what that means. It's good.
Thank
It's
you.
real good.
Yeah.
I like how
today
Kevin, one of the ears on Kevin's is that the left ear is just a little bit down, like he may be a little sleepy or sad.
It adds.
You never know.
It's because the this thing.
I'm just messing with you.
There it is, the
That's great.
headphones. There
I
it
love
goes.
it.
Today, we are talking about Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. It was released on October 15th, 2019, my mom's birthday. Directed by Kevin Smith, once again. A budget of $4.5 million. And this is where things get a little weird for me. Box office of $4.7 million. It was theatrically released with sessions around North America on October 15th and 17th, and had the second highest per-screen average of 2019 behind Parasite, thanks to its ongoing traveling roadshow. Jay and Silent Bob Reboot is the first movie in history to have per-screen averages over 60K 4 different times in its domestic run. So if I'm understanding that correctly, pretty much it just means because the movie kept being released in small little spurts, it kept making a lot of money every time it did that, but it never had like one long run.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So like Kevin actually went to one of the big. They did 2 days, right, Kev? Correct me if I'm wrong. They did 2 nights, like a Friday and a
15th
Saturday,
and
where you could
17th.
go see it in theaters around the country. Then when that was over with, you could only go see it in theaters at the road show that they were doing, where they were traveling, Jay and Kevin, showing it and then doing like Q&As afterwards.
Yep.
Well, there you go. There
There you have it.
Runtime
Honor,
of
Bob.
1 hour and 45 minutes. What we think about Jay and Silent Bob Reboot?
I'm not a fan of this movie. The comedy.
Why not?
I just feel like this is like this reminds me a lot of Jay and Silent Bob, where it's like, oh, he just went with these simple jokes, but I felt like in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, the jokes were funny, and here it just seems like he doesn't understand. Like, I don't know. It seemed like he was trying to do a younger humor that he just didn't understand. Like the amount of
You
times.
didn't like the emoji jokes?
Yeah,
jokes?
that's what I go to because it's the easiest one to point out. Where it's like 4 times we got the joke of.
Yeah.
Do you think they could have done the blowjob thing more?
Could they have
that was
done one
really
more?
gross. That was
Okay. Could they have
really
done one more?
gross.
Thank you. But one more for Andy. I think Andy's screen flicker. He didn't see it. There it is. Thanks, Corey. I need all those gifts immediately.
Nick, hold on. Nick added some flair to it.
I
Nick
just wanted to get in on
Nick
that.
didn't put it in his mouth. He was just licking the tip.
You get the tip wet and then it moisturizes your forehead.
Oh my god.
I don't understand.
I mean, he's not wrong, guys. That's
He's
how it
not
works.
wrong. He's not wrong.
Andy, what did you think?
I'm kind of with Kevin on it. I feel like a lot of the humor seemed like it was really trying to relate to the youths of today, and I don't know. It just felt like a lot of the same humor that I didn't like in Strike Back. All of the self-referencing humor, all of the that Kevin Smith guy, he sucks. Like it just kept on getting overdone and overdone and overdone, and I don't know. I didn't really feel like I started to appreciate this movie until we get to Affleck's scene towards the end and we start to get sort of the theme and the emotions of everything, and then the outro of it, which gets kind of emotional. I didn't feel like leading up until then I was like, I don't like this at all. I'm not having a good time with this at all.
It's interesting you say all that, Andy, bringing up the Kevin Smith self-referential stuff and then the Ben Affleck stuff, because this film was dedicated to Stan Lee, but the Kevin Smith character in the end of this movie was supposed to be Stan Lee, and after he died, he couldn't be like a main character in the movie, obviously, so they changed it to be Kevin Smith. And for the Ben Affleck stuff, this is the first collaboration between Kevin Smith and Ben Affleck since Clerks 2 in 2006. They had a falling out which lasted almost a decade, with Smith confessing that he has a big mouth and told too many candid stories that sometimes weren't his to tell. In early 2019, Affleck was interviewed for his movie Triple Frontier, where he indicated that he had...
I actually like that movie.
Triple Frontier, huge hit. Everybody remembers that
one.
It was a Netflix movie, I think. It was,
it was ginormous. It was just him and the other two guys that were the triple threat, and they fucked people up.
Yeah, a great cast, actually. It was Oscar Isaac was in it as well.
Anyways, during this interview, he said that he had not been contacted for a Jay and Silent Bob reboot, but he would be available. Smith heard this, reached out to Affleck, and stated that their reunion was emotional and brought back a massive missing piece of his heart. He wrote Affleck's part, a reprise of Holden McNeil's role in Chasing Amy, into the movie 1 week before the end of production, with the scene shot on the very last day. Smith called the scene one of the best bits of cinema he's ever been involved with. It's absolutely magical and life-affirming, and all the things I really care about now post-heart attack. And to me, this whole thing sums up these Kevin Smith movies. I feel like we just spent 6-7 weeks, whatever it is, talking about like, but what's the message? And it's like, this is proof that there is no fucking message. And they're just like, they were going to release the movie without the one part that we're all like, yeah, that's it.
Damn,
that's
it. That part was so good. I'm so happy
it was so good.
We will
so
do
good.
that, yeah.
But it's weird that, I mean, maybe they would have had someone else do something, but
exactly, there would have been something there that somehow gets to the point that Jay realizes he needs to actually be a dad, right? He needs to step up and do it.
Well, something that I didn't notice is, I guess maybe I didn't see the full bloopers. Well, it wasn't even bloopers, like because they were like, it seems like it's canon story that they added at the end of the video there after the credits.
Mm-hmm.
There was the one where we have the dude from Mallrats. Is it
Brody?
Brody, yeah. We're talking about how he's married to.
Did he ever say he was married to Renee, or that they had a kid together?
Oh, I guess. Well, I thought he made a comment about something about your kids annoying your wife or something.
Okay.
But I could be. But it seems like their story continued together, which is interesting, because I would not have guessed that from like what they had set up there.
Did you guys like the joke about real mall rats?
Yeah.
Oh
when he
my
throws
God.
the thing at them.
Jesus Christ.
This is awful. This was
Here's
so
my
hard
thing.
to watch for me.
I'm doubling down on what I said about
hate
Jay and
you.
Silent Bob Strike Back. This is my number one. I enjoyed this movie more than the others. Didn't enjoy it much. But
You loved Reboot more than the other ones?
Yeah, like I feel
Yeah,
like it.
For
it
me
did the
personally,
thing
like-
that I liked of like the references, and it made the universe worth it and connect, and the Ben Affleck moments. I feel like all of the cameos of our Kevin Smith views universe people, when they had their monologues, they had more good monologues in this movie than the other ones, and there was more jokes that made me laugh. There was jokes that made me laugh out loud in this, but mostly because it was shock humor type shit that I didn't expect, like the girl saying "blunt man" with an accent. And it made me laugh really hard.
Oh, okay.
I think the thing I laughed at the most was it's just like every reboot. You do it whatever, and then you add more diversity to it. Like I laughed a lot at that line, and that's kind of the only line that I had an audible chuckle at.
See,
Yeah,
I
I
laugh
laughed
at
throughout.
anything. I was gonna say I laugh at anything Fred Armisen does. I love him.
Oh, yeah.
He's hilarious.
Hater
The hater tots. Every time he's in a scene, it's hilarious to me. I think watching this movie a second time for me was, I liked it less the second time I watched it. But I think that I was just in a better emotional place for it the first time, and I think that it did. I like what it's trying to say, which is, there's specifically a part where he talks about how your kid becomes the first act or you don't have a third act to your story anymore. Yeah, you don't get a third act. Your third act is now ushering the new kid through their first act, whatever. I like that message. I like that last scene with Jay where he's trying to teach her something when they're standing on the Quickie Mart, and I like that he decides to be a dad. And they did back off a lot of the other humor that I had a problem with. I mean, I think this movie was enjoyable for me. Like, I think it has a lot more heart than a lot of the other films. And I think it at least is, for me, it's Kevin Smith's sort of like swan song about, his whole career, I think this actually is the Bond farewell to the Askewniverse, where you're seeing everyone come back and you're seeing the resolution of their stories. And it's done in typical Kevin Smith style. And I actually like when he plays Kevin Smith on stage. I think he does a great job of that. I think where he kind of starts to wear thin for me, though, is the exaggerated Silent Bob. Because I think before he used to be a little bit more subdued, and now he's like, whoa, I'm a little wacky clown, which I think opposite of Jason Mewes, this doesn't work that well.
Greg?
Yeah, for me, I like this movie a lot. Like, I really, really like this movie, and I think it might be coming off of not loving Strikes Back and not loving Clerks 2, where I think that for me personally, like, this is still everything you're saying is correct, right? In terms of, you know, the Mallrats joke, in terms of referencing all their stuff, in terms of looking at the camera, in terms of Matt Damon just being there because his Kevin Smith's wife was like, I miss Loki. And he's like, yeah, I shouldn't have killed him. She's like, you could put him in the movie. And he's like, I can. And he just does it. At which point Jen turned to me and was like, wait, was that it? Was he just in there to say that? And I was like, yeah, that's all they're using him for. All that said, it is what I like out of the View Askewverse, right? And especially into what, even though it's not the swan song, they're making another one, even though this will never end. Like, it is for me what I wish Strikes Back would have been, where it is this, hey, we're all bringing all the things together. There's something to say here. These characters are moving forward, even if it wouldn't have been the same without the Ben Affleck scene they filmed, you know, with a week's notice or whatever. Like, I like this because I think this movie, again, after Clerks 2 and I think Strikes Back, this movie is another one of Kevin Smith having something personal to say. And granted, he says it in a very 2019 Kevin Smith way, where it is cameos and jokes that make his friends laugh and things he would have pulled from the podcast, and a movie that is very much designed, even though I know Kevin doesn't like it, but very much designed to be like, fuck what a movie is. Like, I think it's even funny, you know, Kevin was like, I think it's canon because it was in the bloopers. I'm like, does the canon of the View Askewverse matter anymore? Like, because like when they're looking at the camera and referencing us and everything else, we're just along for whatever they say is going to be what it is, right? But all that said, I enjoyed it. I laughed throughout. I thought it was heartfelt. I thought I liked it as much as I liked it the first time when I watched it with like super low expectations because I missed it. I was out of town on a trip when it came through, and so I didn't get to see it till it came to on demand. And so I know Kevin had always said like, "Oh, I didn't like it," and I went in there thinking like, "Oh man, this is going to really not hit the spot." But for me, it did. I liked watching a Jay and Silent Bob that are older and also are no longer like not getting away with it because obviously they still get away with all their shit, but are older and to the point where they have to start making real decisions and have real conversations. And I liked watching Jay evolve into a dad. I liked everybody moving on. I liked that, you know, Justice had talked shit about Jay. What was it? Come Quick Thumb Dick or whatever. like this is Come Quick Thumb Dick. Like I enjoyed all that.
I felt like this is the first movie that I felt worried for Jay as a human being.
Totally.
Because he just looked really rough and he performed rough. And it just, I think this is like one of I think his weakest performance on camera. And I don't know if that's like, it just felt like when someone who goes through a lot of drug issues has their teeth replaced and stuff, and they talk different, they feel different, and I feel like even though Clerks 1 was his first movie and he was like the most nervous in that, and Kevin Smith said that he was really nervous to talk and read lines and stuff, I feel like this might be one of his worst performances just in terms of acting. I feel like we'd gotten better Jays throughout all the movies, and then this one just feels like it's like watching like a wrestler that just doesn't have it anymore, you know?
Yeah, and it's weird too because I agree with you on that. I also feel like Jay's character was written in a way that Jay's never been written before, and like it wasn't just he has a kid so now he's changing. It's like even before that I was like, this doesn't feel like Jay and Silent Bob. Like this feel like not even Jay and Silent Bob from Strikes Back. They felt like totally different characters and not ones that have even grown from Clerks 2. It's so funny how many movies there are, and it's like they've been in all of them. Like going back to Clerks 1, it's like it was we all kind of praised it because it was like, oh, this feels like a really good student film. And I feel like this one feels like a pretty good college humor sketch that is an hour and 45 minutes long. And like, I don't hate that. I like that kind of stuff. So I think that's maybe why it worked for me a little bit more. Because it does have a little bit more heart, but those do at times as well. But just with all the cameos and all the like that type of stuff, it was fun to see people pop up. And there was definitely a couple celebrity appearances that I wasn't expecting. But I like that
Justin Long from Zack and Miri.
Yeah,
Chris Hemsworth is the best. Chris Hemsworth in this movie is the best. I want an hour and a half of that hologram talking to you. Where he's like, "Don't touch me, don't help me, don't do any of that stuff." No,
what I liked about the setup of this movie being a like shot-for-shot remake almost of the first movie was we kind of knew the plot beats to expect, and I liked the way they twisted them. Like I liked that once we saw the set of Blunt Man and Chronic, it was like we knew that we were about to get some celebrity appearances, and it was like, who's it going to be? Didn't expect Val Kilmer. Like that was funny to me, and I think that this movie succeeded at playing with my expectations in that way. Also, definitely didn't expect to see Chris Jericho. That was random as hell.
Yeah, that was very random.
Stick around because afterwards, hater tots.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I kind of just like some of the messaging here, right? Which is kind of, there's a lot of meta stuff happening, not the least of which is Kevin Smith sort of addressing a lot of the criticisms he's had. And I think he does that through the Jay character, right? The Jay character, I think, to me, in a lot of ways, is Kevin Smith's sort of career, where it started as this ridiculously farcical character. And then after having gone through all of these experiences, the biggest of which was having the kid, it finally had to grow up and become a real three-dimensional human being. And there's that great line at the end of it where I forget what he says, but it's something to the degree of like, hey, your kid ruined or Kevin Smith had a kid and it ruined his career, which was a big criticism I think a lot of people had because he didn't have the edge anymore. And then of course Harley Quinn herself, who is the kid that people were criticizing, like fires back at him. She's like, you ruined your own career, buddy. And it's very true, because if you watch the movie that came out before this, which was Yoga Hosers, it is arguably the worst movie ever made. And so I think that might have also been something I reacted to when I watched this the first time, was that I watched Tusk and then Yoga Hosers, and I thought, someone should check on Kevin Smith, because the man has lost his mind. He's clearly suffering from some sort of delusional drug-induced
I feel like, the weed has kind of changed how he makes
movies.
movies.
Has changed. And for me, this movie had a clarity to it and a message to it that I just thought was a welcome change. And it kind of a welcome back to, it's like, okay, it's old school Kevin Smith. Is he the best filmmaker on the planet? No. Is some of the convoluted messaging there? Yeah. Do we have a moment where he goes, would you guys like some hater tots? And I think to myself, I should go get some Crisp Gut fries or some tater tots from Carl's Jr. right now. Yeah, that'd be amazing. But
there were multiple moments, Nick, where I was like, I feel
Nick's
like Nick wrote this scene.
100%.
Like,
But that's not a compliment for anyone, right?
No, God no. But there's a moment where Jay goes, they're about to part for the first time. I think it's in the beginning of the third act, where he's talking to Harley Quinn and he goes, you know what, your dad. I feel sorry for your dad because you're pretty cool and he missed out on being your dad. And he starts crying and I start crying because I'm like, this is actually like a heartfelt scene. And especially if you know the fact that, Jason Mewes has been her uncle for her entire life, since she was born, and they actually have that relationship and they have that chemistry together. I think a lot of it works despite itself, which I think ends up being that's my feedback for every Kevin Smith movie, is that a lot of it works despite itself. And not all of it, but some of it works despite itself. And when it does, it's really, for me, it works. And then we get to the Ben Affleck scene and I'm like, to me, that was Ben Affleck and Kevin Smith sort of like mending fences and him coming back and saying, all the stuff that happened before us, it just kind of doesn't matter anymore because we got these kids and we gotta, those are the life now. And it's really about priorities and like what matters, which I think was good.
Couple facts for you guys that are fun. So Will Ferrell was approached to reprise his role, but because of scheduling stuff, he had to pass. And then the appearance of Grant Hicks from Dogma confirms that God brought all the people back that Bartleby killed rather than taking them to heaven. So that's a fun little thing for Dogma. And then this one's just for you, Nick. This is the second film in history that features roles for two different actors who've played live-action Batman in movies. Ben Affleck and Val Kilmer. The other is Out of Sight in 1998, featuring
George Clooney and Michael
George Clooney. Yeah,
there you go. There you go.
Great movie. Also, fun fact about that one: I believe Michael Keaton's character in Out of Sight is the same character he played in that other Elmore Leonard Quentin Tarantino movie, Jackie Brown. Same character.
Really?
Yeah, that FBI character popped up in a lot of Elmore Leonard's books, apparently, or maybe a couple of them. And when they made the movies, they were like, let's get Michael Keaton back and have him play that character again. Pretty funny.
Cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I would say two little notable cameos is Amy at the end is Jason's daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, so cute. And she's adorable. She's like the most adorable kid you ever
She's very cute. And then the bailiff that lets them into the court is Jason Mewes' wife.
Oh, cool.
Dude, first off,
cameos you might not know.
Can we have a moment and just talk about Craig Robinson? Can we just talk about how much of a national treasure that man is? The scene where she's like, where they're going back and forth, and he's like, "You're really funny. You should be a stand-up comedian." And she's like, "I am a stand-up comedian. I'm sure I'll go to that." It's so good.
I hate all these scenes.
I love them. I think
that's not what real world is like. That's what we loved about. That's what I loved about all the Kevin Smith.
The originals.
The originals that they felt like real scenarios with like real people interacting, and all of these. There's so many scenes in here where it's like, wow. Like, this is not.
I mean, not all of them though. Like, Clerks didn't feel like real people. Clerks didn't feel like real people. It felt like silly real and like hyper realistic. The only ones that feel somewhat real to me are like
Dogma's the only one.
Well, Dogma's, I mean, that's surreal as well. Like for me,
Yeah, well, that's what I'm
Clerks,
saying. Yeah.
for me, like Kevin Smith's best when he's not grounded, when he has something to say, but he's doing it through farcical means. And I just think, I mean, if this movie had been a slightly better quality and they tweaked a couple things, it could have been a lot better. But for me, Tim, I think you hit the nail on the head where it's just a slightly better cut above college humor movies. And it's going to be that level when you see the intro credits and the production companies look like something me and Andy worked on in Cinema 4D for like 15 seconds.
15 of them.
And there's 15 of them.
It reminded me of the Family Guy intro.
Oh, God.
Like, all right, time to watch a movie. And there's like a new thing that's like, oh, we're going on an adventure. Oh, okay, it's just a production company. All right. And the next one starts. It's like, all right, time to buckle down. Like, it just never ended, man.
Yeah, but I do agree, like Kev, I do agree that I think he's a little bit more meandering later, where I think Chasing Amy had much more of a point to it. I think this one is. I think you're right. I think they kind of had to find the point somewhere in there. I think Kevin Smith kind of knew what he wanted to get at.
The point fell on his lap a week and a half before everything was done.
Well, for that one scene, sure, but I think I feel like the character arc for Jay was supposed to be that he gets to the end and realizes that being a dad is cool.
Sure.
Like what the point of his life's going to be from now on.
He has his moment where he's in front of the quick stop, but I do feel like that wouldn't have meant as much unless we had that moment with Ben Affleck.
Yeah, 100%. But
and
also shout out to...
It's very good. Like, I'm very happy that happened because, like, that almost makes the movie worth it for me, where it's like that Chasing Amy, like the end of that story is just such a, like, oh, man, what a beautiful way to, like, look at him. He's got Amy as his little daughter running around. Yeah, it's awesome.
This movie was worth being made simply because they named the daughter Millennium Falcon, and that's the coolest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Didn't get on it. One of the other things, this is how I know I'm old, by the way, aside from the fact that Ben at Please Be Excited keeps telling me, is that when she has a line, or Joy Lauren Adams has a line where she goes, "I'm gonna go have a smoke, and then I'll see you in a second." And my first thought was, you're a mom. You can't be smoking cigarettes. You're cutting your life down. And then what's with the secondhand smoke for this kid? And then Ben Affleck. Oh my God, I feel bad for the kid.
Let's get to the plot.
I have green flashing. I'm just pissed off, Greg.
God damn it, Andy. You know what I mean? I asked you to bring your A game. 1 out of 5 shows.
Fucking webcams, man. I don't get it, dude.
You also sound quiet. Welcome to Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, ladies and gentlemen. We begin in Leonardo,
right at the beginning. Just a quick little subtle burn.
Fuck you. Fuck everyone. We begin in Leonardo, New Jersey, outside the Quick Stop, where one Dante Hicks is once again opening up the Quick Stop you know and love. What do you got for me, Nick?
Why do they make this guy have a goatee? No one's had a goatee in 20 years. Why does he have it?
This is what Dante looks like. Why is he still wearing the same combat boots, Nick? It's because
that I could get away with because those have come back in vogue, and that could be okay. That could be a retro thing.
1994 to 2019, this man hasn't changed from combat boots. Now, granted, I've been wearing Converse my whole life, but that's a comfortable shoe.
First off,
combat boots are very comfortable.
Combat boots very comfortable, and they're very versatile, especially if you're going someplace that has snakes and high grass. And third, listen, dude, there's my rules on things you shouldn't do past 30, right? You shouldn't be DJ, shouldn't skateboard anymore. You shouldn't tell your friends secrets at all. Just keep the secrets to yourself.
No more.
And number 4 is you just should not have a goatee past 30. Just don't do it. Full beard or nothing. I say.
Where's Randall?
Yeah.
So
I think it had a falling out.
There was actually
this is during a blackout, right?
Yeah, over Clerks 3, right? Or am I wrong, Kev?
No, I think you're right. But in the story, like I caught something that I hadn't before, which is the line when the cops are all there and he's like, "I can tell you where Randall is. I can tell you where Randall is." So like, I wonder if they're just gonna gloss over that because RTS, or that's the name of the video store, right?
Yep.
Was closed down. Like so, and like that's. I imagine he was supposed to be running that after Clerks 2.
No, the kid was supposed to be what's his
Elias.
Elias, yeah.
Elias is working there. We're
right.
making some jumps here.
Yeah, they never clarified if they bought just the Quick Stop or if they bought the whole mini market.
They bought the whole mini market. When they say the stores, they mean the stores.
Actually, a good investment for them.
And so, I mean, like, if we're getting into this minutia of it, I think Randall's fine. I just think Dante was opening that day. I think that RTS still has its sign up, but Cocksmokers is over it. So I think, just as you'd imagine, a video store has gone out of business in the what? How many years has it been? 13 years since we last checked in this universe.
Yeah,
And
but
then,
also that
I feel
the
like he
actor
implied-
wasn't on the panel. He wasn't on the Clerks panel.
No. Well, we're
Yeah,
getting away from that.
okay.
That's
We're
back
talking
to
about
the
the
real
canon
world.
again.
Yeah, that's back to the real world discrepancy of like, yeah, Jeff Graves had a falling out with not Kevin Smith, but I guess Miramax or whoever it was who had the Clerks rights, owed him a bunch of money and didn't do it. So he was like, fuck you guys, I'll never do it again.
Oh,
and that's why like Kevin's gone and done like live readings of Clerks 3, not the Clerks 3 that's actually getting made, but Clerks 3, what it was before. And I think in the time since this movie wrapped production, that's all been made up, and Randall is back. Jeff Graves is back for whatever the next Clerks is.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But there was a thing where money was owed, so yeah, his character wasn't like on the pan in this movie at all. Not because this is what I understand from like the headlines and paragraphs I'll read here and there. I'm just like, it's not that he has a problem with Kevin Smith; it's that he has a problem with the money owed through this whole
distribution
thing.
and all that. Okay.
Jeff Anderson.
Oh, my apologies.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Who's
What was I saying?
Graves?
Jeff Randall Graves. Randall Graves is the character.
There we
Yeah.
go.
But, like,
it could also Tim. It could also been someone that Greg went to junior high with, and he's going to laugh at about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But
Conradell makes sense when you think about it.
did he not imply that Dante, or did Dante not imply that the cops were looking for Randall when he was
No.
like, I know where
I didn't get that.
I know where Randall is. Like, I can give you his information. Like,
No, I just
I think
thought
he
I
was
saw
giving
what
him up.
happened.
Yeah,
I
it was
thought
that
he
idea of
thought
like you must.
cops-
The cops are here to arrest somebody. They're arresting me. They
gotta be Randall,
clearly want
right?
Randall Graves. I'll throw Randall under the bus. Hold on, the House has voted that I need to shut the windows because I'm yelling about. No, I understand what you're saying, Lucy James.
I thought he already had shut the windows.
God damn it! You know what I mean?
It's Tuesday. It's
Are we
Wednesday.
worried about the spirit of the children outside hearing you talk?
Yeah,
about
well, whenever we
nonsense?
start talking about Kevin Smith movies, you know you're about to get into some pussies and cocks. You know what I'm
Jesus
saying, right,
Christ.
Lucy? Come on, you know what I'm
Man.
saying? Yeah.
Well, why did you make Lucy pound to that? Why did you make her pound to that?
oh no.
You owe
Why
her an
wouldn't I?
apology and money. Pay her
Why
money for
wouldn't
that.
I? You know what I mean? She's doing a charity stream
Greg,
with Troy
she felt,
Baker.
she felt so pressured to pound you on that one, man.
I mean, she has to. And that is a weird quote out of context. Back to the story. No, it's just that. No, it's just Randall in the world. I think Dante was just ready to flip on Randall. Clearly, they're not here to arrest me. I've done nothing wrong. Clearly, Randall's a bad person, as we found out multiple times. However, they're not there. They are just getting Dante out of the way so that they can go all in on this cocksmokers hot box and chicken place, which they have discovered with their SWAT team is actually a front for marijuana. Andy, have you ever heard of reefer madness? That's what's happening here. I know you're straight edge, man. You took a dare pledge and you took it to the grave, and I appreciate that about you. So yeah, they show up. I forget this comedian's name. Do you know him, Nick? The guy who's like leading the charge, and
I'm
then
blanking on
the
who he
cop
looks
who's
like.
like the rookie cop or whatever, the shaky gun. He's Polka Dot Man and James Gunn's Suicide Squad, but I forget his name, and he's from Ant-Man as well. But here you go, and I'm not going to be able in this giant cast of characters to be able to pull that out of my ass fast enough to tell you. They,
it's,
of course,
It's Donnell
It's
Rawlings.
Randall Park, right?
Donnell Rawlings.
Is it Randall Park? No.
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 Yeah, he was the cop in Ant-Man, right?
Yeah, no. You're confusing two things I said. I guess actually you're actually that checks out too. No, this guy is the guy who's
Russian.
Ant-Man's friend. Yeah, Russian Ant-Man friend who runs the locksmith business with.
You remember he
Oh,
was
the
whatever his
guy
name
was in the Dark Knight, like in
Yeah.
that one scene of the Dark
Yeah,
Knight where he's like,
yeah,
he doesn't
exactly,
understand you,
exactly.
he's crazy. Yeah, that guy is like it's like Damien Chamel or something like that, or
Yeah.
Chazelle.
Chamel.
No, that's the guy that did La La Land. Forget about it. Let's move on. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
The guy
fuck,
never
it's gonna
comes
be-
back.
This is gonna be a long recap for reasons I didn't see coming. No, instead, what it is that they scream for Jay and Silent Bob to come out. They understand that this is a grow house. This is all a front. Come on out. You have to come out. They fire in some tear gas and they kind of smoke it because they're pot smokers. And then finally, Jay comes out with 2 plants in his hand, and Bob comes out eventually, and he's like, "Drop the plants." And Jay hears, "What? Drop the pants?" So he takes off his pants, drops his pants, and does Nick's favorite part. And what
It's
Lucy
mine
James
and Kevin's
referred to
part.
as
Kevin
the
loves
best
this
part
too.
of Clerks 2.
And
when
it
he
was
does
so
the Buffalo Bill
disappointing to see this joke done like this. Where
Yeah.
it's
It
just
did- it
like,
was
all
poorly
right,
done.
you don't get
There
it.
needed to be, Kevin, if I'm not wrong, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but there needed to be a lot more reverence paid to this joke, a lot more setup, and a lot more payoff.
It's a
He just
great
dropped it.
joke.
I wanted the song to come in. I wanted him to start moving. I wanted to cut back to Randall Park. Like, what's he doing? What is happening? And then they cut wider, and then the pants start coming down, and then it's like, is that shaped into a heart? And then, I'm crawling, falling, goodbye.
For me personally, this was the one. If you remember, this was like the teaser, the trailer they dropped for it or whatever. And this is when I watched it, and I was like, "Oh my god, this movie's gonna be awful." That's
Yeah,
I
when I
appreciate that he shaved his
it
pubes
was.
though.
Yeah, he had a heart shaved in the pubes,
I
right?
believe he's had them like that since he did Zack and Mary Make a Porno, where he first shaved him
Genius.
into.
Kevin checks in every so often.
I think
on
what
the pube. Tweet at it. Let's
I-
tweet at Jason Mewes and say, "What's the current state of your pubes right now?"
He'll
I
probably
think
respond
what-
to the pube
I think
picture.
what hurts the joke is that we just saw this movie a week ago. Like we just
No, it was
we
a
just-
bad joke, Andy.
It's just
Like,
such a
they made no-
nonsensical
yeah.
jump. You know what I mean? That's what I mean.
Pants
Back to
down. Because
Yeah,
that's what
exactly.
cops ask you to do, right?
it's really
Exactly,
bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Let's
right.
not
And then,
make
there's this
excuses.
whole argument of like, he has no dick. What do I do? And he's like, no, he's got a dick. He's just got it tucked back.
That part got me. He's having dick. No, he's just tucked back. It's tucked back.
Of course it got Nick.
The amount of times I was sitting there, I was just like, I can feel Nick laughing somewhere.
You know what's funny also is that I watched, this is how I know I like this movie. I watched it with my wife. And at the end of it, she said, well, that was absolutely terrible. And I was still laughing from whatever the prior joke that happened. Because there's some funny shit in the credits. I think it was Chris Hemsworth. I was like, Chris Hemsworth is a goddamn national
Yeah,
treasure.
he's
He should
great.
be president.
A real quick timeout back from the real world. Andy, while we do this, can you make a thumbnail for Games Daily? They're freaking out the thumbnails channel because nobody made one because none of us were on it. Back to the show. They take Jay and Silent Bob into custody for doing this and having their weed business. And then we get the title credits, and then we're over to the courtroom where one Craig Robinson is in fact the judge, and Joe Magalhae, the Deathstroke himself, the Terminator, is the bailiff or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just with such a clever name too, Jury and Executioner, or Jerry and Executioner is the judge's name.
Yeah.
You're like,
That's
good job,
a
Kevin.
man's
You
joke.
tried
Good
hard
job.
on that one.
Think a man's joke.
I felt like this next little bit where they're just talking about like, oh, well, you guys are back. It's like, oh, it's funny. We've heard about them going to like dealing with court stuff,
The
but
cops
like,
before, yeah.
but like, I never thought of them as like constantly being in jail or like being in court. So that also struck me as like, huh, that never thought that they would be like, knowing the
There was actual repercussions for their stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't
They
know
don't
that
get
either. 'cause
caught.
you
They
think of,
got
like,
caught
Jay
that
and
one time, and he went to like rehab. Yeah.
Yeah, I always think of them as the guys that are just the lovable scamps that just get away with it all. You're like, oh, I'll give them a pass. It's just Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, agree with all that too. And I think it goes back to what we were talking earlier of the early movies being at least more grounded in reality before I think Dogma splinters it, right? Where obviously you're telling a fantastical story because that's what it is, but it also, we never recover from that into a semblance of there's rules to this universe anymore. It's all, I think as much as we loved that movie, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, right, is then just nonsense and shootouts, which are, comical or whatever, like we're talking about for comedies at the time, shootouts from 4 feet away and nobody's getting hit and everybody's going to be okay kind of thing. Yeah. But to your point, yeah, that happens here. Justin Long walks in. He's going to represent Jay and Silent Bob. Before then, he has him sign some paperwork. Bob wants to read it. Jay says, no way. And they sign it all set and they're all ready to go. Justin Long, Nick, what does he say his grinder name is?
Fuck, I forget.
Dick Wolf.
Dick
Yeah.
Wolf. That was funny.
Dude, there were
was
so many Law and Order
right?
jokes there.
Yeah.
Dude, it was fucking dying, dude.
Oh man.
Yeah,
But, like,
it
there
reminds me
wasn't-
how
it
much
was
I love
one-
Justin Long.
But
no,
like,
it wasn't one.
No, I'm saying like it was one joke. It was just Dick Wolf, right?
No,
And they
it wasn't.
just
No, he did the whole thing of he says does the intro to Law and
Oh,
Order,
right.
The criminal
Yeah.
justice system.
system, two sides.
Two separate but equal.
We
yeah,
watch
Law and
every
Order.
Law and Order.
We love that.
I like that. I laughed at all that, and I like the Justin Long shitty or swarmy lawyer or whatever. He's there to represent him, so they started it up. The attorney for New Jersey wants him thrown out because they're running this illegal grow house, and Justin Long says he's there that these people were hired by Saban Films, the people who made money more from Power Rangers. He's like, well, they do more stuff than that now.
And then they get into some nerdy ass Power Ranger shit that I was like, oh my, they got into Zeo shit. I was like, all right, guys, that's deeper than I expected.
It's probably a Google
but it was
search,
like
right?
not funny. Like it wasn't.
No,
good.
it was just
Like-
referencing things.
And then they
Just
sing
saying
like the
things.
Power Ranger song, which again is just like something that you add into a high school play where you're like, oh, what if we just like sang the song? Like
that'll
it's just,
pad
like,
time.
What? Yeah, it's such a weird joke that doesn't really add anything of value. Like let's have Craig Robinson sing the Power Ranger song, and then we'll be like, oh, nice. They know the thing that we know. Like I don't know, it's just I hate.
I don't
it
think
all.
Craig Robinson had a script, period, for this.
This whole
He
scene I
just
thought
sitting
is
there.
very awkward. I like
Yeah.
Justin Long and I like his performance here, but like even the whole like Craig Robinson and Joe Magalhae like fucking around with each other and we're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna suck balls, ain't asshole. It's like, all right, like I get it, but again, it's like back to what we're talking about. If there's no rules to this world, so it's just like, so are you cool judges and bailiffs or not? I don't know. What does it matter?
Nick, it's Magnia Elbow. Remember?
Yes, I do remember, Andy. The best episode of
I'll
KFA
explain
I've
it,
ever
please.
created. I do want to give a shout out to Frankie Shaw, though, who plays the district attorney, and I've loved her ever since she was on Blue Mountain State, which is one of my all-time favorite shows that no one should ever watch. Never watch it, but it's great.
Why not watch it?
It's just every time I recommend that to anyone, they're like, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life."
It's fucking
I
hilarious.
can't stop laughing. Oh, okay. I was like,
No, yeah, no. That's,
okay.
so, I mean,
yeah, remember how she
there's
plays the
no
best friend in
way
it?
it holds up, but it's
No, God, no.
politically at least. But it's
Oh,
funny
God,
as shit.
He says that they were hired to do this movie pop up. They're promoting a movie. That's all this was. It was a misunderstanding. Here are the paperwork's to prove it. Okay, Jay and Silent Bob, you're not guilty this time. Great. Next court case on the docket is Saban Films versus Jay and Silent Bob. Justin just walks over to the next table, and sits down. I like that one too. And he's like, yeah, it's basically Saban Films bought the rights to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, or Blunt Man and Chronic, the movie from 2001. They're in their effort to reboot it, they bought it for what was it, $3,700 off Craigslist. Paid too much. Movie sucks balls and asshole. And that now that they own that, they own all the characters within, including Jay and Silent Bob, meaning that these two clowns can't use their name anymore because that's they're profiting off of our thing and they can't be Jay and Silent Bob. I have contracts to back that up. Presents the contracts, and that's it. Craig Robinson, the judge, decrees that you can no longer be Jay and Silent Bob. Gavel, you know what I mean? From there,
gavel noise.
Why did the gavel sound like a
the
dying
walkie-talkie.
bird?
it sounds like that. It's also a little bit too much like Law and Order, like dung dung. That's what's in my head in
Yeah.
terms of the pacing, right?
But you
yeah,
could
that
have just
wouldn't
knocked,
mind. Like,
there it
that's
is.
a
Oh,
great
that sounded
credit.
much better.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
From there, they go to the only place that makes sense, the mall, not Eden Prairie, just some other mall, right? I don't know if Eden Prairie's maybe been super, redone, but I also doubt they spent the budget to go film outside of a mall in Minnesota. I digress. They go to the mall, which is, of course, completely almost abandoned. It's destroyed. There's nothing going on in it except for Brody's secret stash. That's right. Brody from Mallrats is back. His shop has moved in from Red Bank, New Jersey, or whatever it was in New Jersey before it was in Red Bank, to the mall now. Notably in here, of course, we are giving our first tributes to Stan Lee. They have a display of Stan Lee's sweater there, and then Brody's trademark weird shirt with the multi-head thing twisting from Mallrats is now just a Stan Lee shirt underneath his white shirt with his brown coat over it. Here, Jay and Silent Bob lay it all out for Brody Man. That hey, guess what? We lost our names. We can't use our names anymore. This fucking sucks. What are we gonna do? Thing. Brody brings up, well, of course, this is probably more related to them rebooting the movie. What are you talking about? Again, this is not shot for shot, but pretty close to exactly what it was in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which plays into a joke coming up, but. It is revealed through the back of a comic book that Blunt Man v Chronic is going to be coming out soon. It's got Melissa Benoist as Chronic, right?
Chronic.
Yeah, and then
yeah.
Blunt Man is Val Kilmer, and it's them riffing off Batman v Superman. They're staring each other's down. This is when who'd want to sequel to that, and he's like, well, or a remake to that. It's not a remake, it's a reboot. What's a reboot? And they get into all these things we were talking about earlier of the minutia of a reboot versus a remake versus a sequel. And reboot, being that you take the story that already existed, you put a more diverse cast with younger people in it, and you shit it out, you piss off both audiences, the old and the new, because the movie sucks. A lot of references,
Easter eggs during the scene, like the comic books that he's putting on the stands, all of them have some reference to Kevin Smith in some way, whether it's books that he wrote before or Captain Marvel, where Captain Marvel in the movie had Stan Lee reference.
Mallrats.
Yeah.
That's
very
cool. I wasn't a big fan of most of this. I do like the little, like where he's talking shit about all the movies, and then they go to Marvel, and he's like, "No, you shut up! Like Marvel's the best. It's the only thing that I live for."
Yeah, I live for those movies. All right, I die for those movies.
Can I get a just a quick reminder as to what the Easter egg was in Captain Marvel?
When
really good,
when Captain Marvel herself, the titular character from the film, chases the shape-shifting alien whose name escapes me onto the bus or whatever, right? The train. She starts going like seat to seat looking, and eventually she comes across a man reading a Mallrats script. And she pushes it down, and it's Stan Lee practicing his line from Mallrats. And he smiles, she smiles, and then she goes about it and finds that grandmother and fights her.
Okay, that's really
the
cool.
best.
Why am I blanking on what's the shapeshift? Skrull. She was chasing a Skrull. Sorry, I wasn't prepared to shift gears that fast.
That's okay, Greg. You're right on it, bro.
Thank you, brother. So back to this movie, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. Again, this is all laid out. Here's what we're doing. Here's what Reboot is. Here's how it's going. I think this is the first time we get our, Blow Me Necrotic again. Who would pay for that? And everybody, they look at the camera and wink at us because, hey, you're paying for it again and you're doing it again. This is also, he moved here because the rent's cheaper. The only downside is the mall rats. I didn't see the kids not there. No, the actual rats. And then he throws something at a mall rat that squeaks. But yeah, it's laid out that, hey, this is all happening again. We got to go back to Hollywood. We got to stop this film from getting made so we can get our fucking names back. Silent Bob. Come on, we're going back to Hollywood. Nuge. There's a bunch of Nuge, and they do the whole thing of cue the music again. Fucking weirdos, but I do like it. It makes me happy.
I watching this movie, I thought that one of the facts when I looked them up this morning was going to be that if you play both Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and Reboot at the same time, it would match up, and it's not the case, which I think is weird because it feels like it is so one for one to the point that I was like, oh, now this is what's going to happen, and then something happened, or there's about to be a cameo, and then there was a cameo. It's like, it's weird.
So now, hey, Jay and Silent Bob learning and growing. They go to the airport rather than do some weird cross-country bus or anything for free. They go to the airport where Molly Shannon is going to be their ticket agent here at Southwest Airlines. Of course, this will immediately reference Kevin Smith's falling out with Southwest Airlines, who decreed him too fat to fly that one time. And it was a huge fucking deal. And it went nuclear for Southwest and, Kevin Smith, obviously a different time. However, though, Molly Shannon's there. She got a southern accent. And Jay's like, that's not really a Jersey accent. She's like, oh, I'm from South Jersey. And they're like, oh, makes sense. Basically, they need to go to Hollywood, California. There's at the end, they show there's a whole subplot or whatever, long running joke of Hollywood, Florida, which I liked. I wish they would have kept that.
Why was that? Why was that a funny joke? Just because there's a Hollywood, Florida?
Because, who in their right mind here's like, we got to go to Hollywood. And they're like, oh, Florida? Like, that's not how you do it.
I feel like
I said I was going to Paris and you were like, oh, Paris,
Texas?
Missouri? Like, no, Paris, France.
Paris, California.
So anyways, she's all set to do it. Let's get you on there. Can I get your names? They manufacture fake names immediately. And she's like, all right, those sound like fake names. And he's like, well, here's the real thing. I'm Jay and Silent Bob, and we can't do the thing because of our names, whatever. She's like, let's just try Jay and Silent Bob, which also sound like fake names.
I thought that was funny.
And they dumped out all this change this little fuck you money bag. They dump out all this change that they were going to use to pay for the thing. And she says, I'm sorry, there's a weight problem, which then this is again, let's drive home this real world thing here. Wait, you're saying he's too fat to fly again? And since he went vegan, he's lost all this weight. I have to call him snack pack and all these different references here. Instead of saying fly, fat ass fly, I have to say fly. What is it? Fly, small ass fly, or whatever it is. Lean ass fly.
Low fat.
Okay, low fat ass fly. Again, this is to your point earlier of like getting into how Jason Mewes acts 13 years later. No, that's not right, is it? The
2006 to 2019, I think.
So 13 years later. Like this was the one where, to Andy's point earlier, I really felt like his pacing was off, and like there was a lot being said here that didn't sound like him or whatever. I think I adjust to it as you go out through the movie, but even on my second viewing, I was like, all right, cool. I'm still trying to get into this. Granted, we're coming off of watching all these movies back to back to back to back. She's like, no, not fucking wait, you idiots. Like, you're on a no-fly list because you're part of a terrorist organization known as the Clit. And he's like, fuck, right, that did happen. That is a real thing. And she's like, though, you can get a ride. You can get a ride through Ride Me. Is that it? The app service here, that's their Uber or whatever. You pull it out, you do this thing. So go ahead and do that. And they're like, all right, cool, we'll do that. Bob pulls it out. Turns out they need a credit card. This is immediately solved by getting in another cameo from Ralph Garman. Is that right?
Yeah, that is an off-call.
His co-host.
I'm going to read it to you very slowly and very loud.
His co-host from Hollywood Babylon. He walks off the elevator, and does this whole reading very loudly thing. And again, it's literally just inserted so they can give him a cameo. And then Bob just putting all the information in. They step outside, and Merkin picks them up. This is Fred Armisen, as you said earlier, Nick of Portlandia fame. And I also think it's super fucking funny.
I've tried to watch Portlandia. It's a little too Portlandia for me, but every time I see Fred Armisen, he just makes me laugh. He just is so, what it is? Because there's always a moment where you're like, he's gonna break, and he's gonna start laughing in the scene, and everyone else is gonna start laughing in the scene, and it's so Saturday Night Live, and I think he's just a delightful human being.
I
His
hated
cameo
all of
in
this.
Broad City is one of the fucking funniest scenes.
Oh,
in
the
TV
baby,
history.
the big baby.
Yeah. Oh man.
That is really funny.
Yeah, Fred Armisen does remind me of even like a character. I mean, I don't think he's as good. I think it's a weird comparison. Why am I making this comparison? But even like John Hamm, when John Hamm pops up, I'm like, I love when he pops up and stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I
It's not a
totally
bad
agree. I
comparison.
totally agree
No, it is.
with Fred Armisen, where he just has this. Whatever he's doing, he's gonna bring like a level of like high hilarity to it, and it's always great.
But does he bring hilarity? We'll have to find out in just a second because I want to tell you
Shoot.
about our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode is brought to you by Honey. We all shop online a lot, but did you know you can make online shopping even better? You can with Honey. Honey is the free online shopping tool that saves you money online. Honey automatically finds the best promo codes and applies them to your cart, which makes online shopping finally feel as easy as it's supposed to be. I recently bought even more Hue lights, and I got some really sweet deals thanks to Honey giving me them. I was just on Best Buy looking at some stuff. Next thing I know, boom, I was saving a whole bunch of cash, dollar bills, y'all. Let's see. Honey has found over 17 million members, over $2 billion in savings, and not using Honey is literally passing up free money. It's so free. It's so easy. You just click it installs in a few seconds, and then you don't need to do any more work. Anytime you're buying something, it just automatically does it for you, and you're just saving money. Plus, it's now part of the PayPal family. Everyone can trust PayPal. You can get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/morning. That's joinhoney.com/morning. They also have this thing where they give you, I forget what they call them, honey bucks or something.
Honey coins.
Honey coins?
Yep.
Points? What do you say?
I said coins. And honey gold. We're all wrong.
Honey gold. But like, yeah, certain places you get like this credit, and then you're not only saving money, you're getting free money that you can use on other things later. It's super awesome. I know Joey just did that for something. So joinhoney.com/morning to check that out. Was Fred Armisen funny?
I think so.
Turns out,
And I
he
love
was.
tater
Yeah.
shots. Those are two of my favorite things.
That's the thing, of course, is Fred drives them. He's going to drive them to Hollywood, California from New Jersey. Yeah, he did. We get Fred's whole backstory. There's a few different things happening here. Jay and Silent Bob smoke a blunt, a joint. I don't even know. I don't do the
They have their
drugs.
3 last strands of their like weed.
No, they don't do that.
No,
they
no,
have
no, they smoke
three
the
celebratory
little- Right.
strands from their cock smoker days that they're going to save for occasions. Instead, this is where they smoke the little Silent Bob with the huge cock.
Nick, how much did you enjoy that they had to tickle the butthole?
It's hilarious. Guys, they wrote this movie for me.
So they're
almost
smoking that in the
sucks.
back, to which Fred tells them, "Oh, you're smoking back there. That's cool. It'll actually cover up the shit smell. Somebody took a huge shit back there. Do you know how hard it is to get shit out of pleather?" I think this is all just inserted to make sense of why they're okay with smoking in the car. Then eventually they get to start knowing. Oh, no, and he's like, and I also offer my riders complimentary hater tots. He's got a toaster oven as the glove box, and he pulls out this little thing and passes it back to them. And then we got his backstory.
I love that he just has a little toaster, which is like my favorite type of toaster ever. And remember, I think is the one at the office mine, by the way?
Probably.
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
remember buying it.
No, I'm
Sorry.
pretty sure I bought it for the.
You can take
Really?
it. Kevin
Yeah,
says you can
I mean,
have
you
it.
can have it. It matches the rest of the appliances.
Oh, I might borrow it.
Don't
borrow it
take it.
because I love a toaster oven.
No,
but I
he-
just
he
Here's what I'll
just
tell you
don't
right now,
take it.
Andy. If we do the in review next week on Tuesday for whatever we're doing, and in the background you have a toaster oven, but I'll be pretty stoked if I look back down your
Okay.
shelf full of Gundams and there's just a toaster oven.
Okay.
chilling.
All right,
Making
all
things
right.
like-
I do feel like you could put, I know you always complain about how little desk space you have, but you could put toaster oven, then your monitor on top of that. Nothing bad will happen.
Oh, nothing bad will happen at all. I actually got Instagram algorithm and I bought some plant-based chicken nuggets from an
you
Instagram ad.
did.
And I'll talk about that on Kind of Funny Podcast.
Wait, that's a weird plant-based. So you
You're just a
vegetarian?
human being.
It's just a
You're a
cool
human
website.
being.
They're called like Nugs or something. And on the website, they have this tagline that says, "These nuggets will kill you slower because they're
That's-
healthier."
Fucking hilarious.
Anyway,
Yeah, but I feel like food shouldn't say that. You know.
So yeah, Fred Armisen says that he left his job because he thought he had $1 million idea, Hater Tots, which would be tater tots aimed at millennial girls that had a Tiger Beat magazine on the back of the box, kind of thing. And he's like, you know who loved him? Nobody. It didn't. The girls don't love him, but it turns out Hater Tots is a different interpretation. You know who did love him? White supremacists. And so he said, I'll pull the plug on Hater Tots. I don't want my brand being associated with white supremacy. And now he drives a Ride Me Now cars to make ends meet or whatever. And so he'll do this. He'll take them to Hollywood, California, if they agree to give him a big tip and leave him some great feedback on his user profile. Jay and Silent Bob are like, cool, that's a deal for us.
It's such a weird idea. It's such a weird bit to have. Tater, then there's the KKK later. Like, I wonder, like, what the source of that joke was. I'd be.
I think it's being super high and saying something that like later he was like, oh, and this is gonna connect.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, it's not weird because
100%
Greg has taken these weird stories into weird places before, so I wouldn't be surprised if, like, yeah.
I definitely, as much as Kevin podcasts, there's definitely a podcast out there that explains how Hater Tots and the KKK got involved here. I'm not familiar enough on that one to tell you.
Yeah.
So they make their first stop in Chicago, Illinois, back in Greg Miller's old stopping grounds. They pop out there at a Movies restaurant. We're back in the Movies. And as they climb out of the car and stretch their legs with Merkin, they confess to him that they're actually smoking weed back there and not cigarettes, as he thought. And he's like, what? That's crazy. He's like, I've never actually had weed because, I don't want to get in trouble with the law. I'm scared of that. And he's like, that would never happen. Jersey local. They give him one of their nice, their final things of great pot from their, whatever, great fucking thing. Their great grow house. They're like, so they started up for him. Like, you just try to, you sit out here and enjoy this. He's like, all right. They go inside to get their food and order their shit. And as they start to bicker about what to order outside, you see two cops immediately walk up to Fred Armisen and arrest Merkin. He runs the glass and pounds on the door, and it's too late. They take him away. And they're using a fake name. I forget it now. But it's
Underhills.
Oh yeah, Mr. Underhills.
What is that? That's a reference to something, right?
It was a reference to some random ass movie.
Okay.
Kevin Smith.
I mean, yeah,
had something to do with a long time
It just
ago.
reminds you of Frodo saying, Underhill. My name's Underhill.
That's what I'm thinking, Andy. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Good job, Andy.
Todd Underhill, but there's too many. It doesn't make sense. So inside, Jay and Bob begin to bicker about their movies order. He wants Jay wants his typical cow tipper. Bob doesn't want anything with meat because he's vegan now or whatever. So that's happening. I forget. Jay just moves to the side for a second so that Bob can order his food. He shows the eggplant emoji. Oh, Jay goes to take a shit. She comes back to him and is like, what do you want or whatever? He shows the eggplant emoji. The girl working the register freaks out thinking that he means show your old wrinkly ass dick to me. Then she calls over the manager, who is Kevin's wife, Jen. She sees all this and she's like, come with me.
It's Missy. She is Missy.
Yeah.
Oh, is she actually the character Missy?
Yeah, because it says on her name tag Missy.
Really?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that seems like a rule breaker or that world breaker there of like, whatever.
I mean, Rosario Dawson plays a totally different character later, right?
Right. And that makes sense because they're totally different characters. I'm saying if they're the same character, that's a world breaker. Doesn't matter.
Well, Greg,
Why
you can
is
only
it a world breaker?
steal so many things from diamond places before you run out of diamonds. You got to get a real job.
If why is it a world breaker? Because like one of them referenced the fact that they've met before, they know each other.
Yeah, but have they met?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did.
They-
They were in a
we're
van
for each
for
other
a
for like
fucking ride
2 days.
to
Yeah.
the diamond place.
Mm.
And the other girl is hilarious. I forget her name, but she's a really funny comedian.
Did you like her character in this?
Yeah, they
knife
have
wielding-
she has that duo called Garfunkel and Oates, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
She drags him off to fuck him in the bathroom. Jay returns to wait for his meal. On the TV is the news featuring Grant Hicks, as you already said, from Dogma, and then he kicks it to Justice, the weather woman, who is in fact Shannon Elizabeth, Jay's long lost Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back girlfriend. As he watches her on the screen, very much like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, he starts to do his whole flipping out or whatever. And he's getting all sexy and humping and shit. And like, and in the world, we see it enacted in the screen as he comes out to make out with her and she pins him over the desk and takes him from behind. And Grant peeks up above the desk and is just watching all this shit. Bob comes back from having some sex. He slaps Jay. Jay points to the TV. Justice is here in Chicago. This makes sense. We have to track her down.
Boo boo kitty fuck.
Boo boo kitty fuck. They go outside. Merkin is gone. He's nowhere to be found. They're on their own now. This is where I asked you all to do extra credit. Did anyone catch it here? Did anyone catch it? Andy?
I didn't know you asked us to do this.
What was the question?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. He's making shit up again, guys.
In Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, I told you to look for a man drinking 2 cups of coffee.
Oh, I did spot
Oh
that
yeah,
guy.
I saw that too.
When they
spot
come
that
in the
guy.
movies, he leaves and then he proceeds to sit outside and drink 2 cups of coffee to once again reprise his role as he had in Jay and Silent Bob. He had a whole thing on the bus where he yelled at people because he had to pee. That's why he had to get in there. That's why he was drinking so much coffee to set up this logical conclusion. He needed to go to the bathroom. But Jay and Silent Bob were hot backs in the bathroom.
You'll love to see it.
It's just thrown in. Again, I still haven't. Weeks later, I still haven't looked up this guy. I know he had something to do with the cartoon. I forget. Doesn't matter. Jay and Silent Bob.
Wait,
track
real
down
quick,
Justice.
I just looked it up. It's the same name, Miss Mackenzie. So that's crazy.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
World breaker. And I don't like it one bit.
Yeah.
All right. Putting that out there, Nick. Thanks for bringing it to my attention.
You're welcome.
Now we're at Shannon Elizabeth's house. Jay and Silent Bob knock on the door. She opens the door. She is excited to see them and then passes out. Well, not excited. She's shocked to see them, passes out. While they react to that, they get hit in the back of the head with a hockey stick. There's a woman behind them in a hockey mask. We then have them wake up on the couch, tied at the wrists with extension cords. Jay and Bob are able to Jay gets out of it, then he gets Bob out of it, then Justice returns. And we get brought up on what's happening here, right? Of, hey, I haven't seen you in forever, boo boo kitty fuck, whatever happened to us. She's like, what do you mean us? Like, you never came to see me. You were in jail. And he was like, well, he was like, well, yeah, I thought, we couldn't fuck. So why would I come see you or whatever? And she's like, I thought you were mad at me or something. He's like, oh no. So there's a misunderstanding here way back in the day. But also the fact of that, she had to focus on being a mother. And Jay's like, oh, you're a mother now?
Wait,
And she's like,
why was she mad at him? Or why did she think he might be mad at her?
Because he never went to visit her in jail.
No, but like, doesn't she say like, I thought you were mad at me because I didn't tell you about like our kid?
perhaps, I don't remember.
It doesn't
No,
matter.
because she's like, yeah, because he's like, we couldn't bang in jail. That's why I didn't go visit you. And then she's like, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
I thought you were mad at me for another reason, right?
Yeah, I think it was because of the kid. Because I think of the kid, right? And he goes,
Yeah, I
"Ew,
thought
you're
that's what she
someone's
said.
mom." And then she goes, "Jay, it's your kid."
So
And he's
she
like,
thought
"Wait, what?"
he was mad at her because he somehow knew that she was pregnant.
No, I don't. I think she just didn't know why he didn't come to see her. So, like, if she was in jail, it's like, why didn't he come to see me? Maybe he's mad at me. Why?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
While we've debated that, DJ Kento has pointed out in chat while looking at the IMDb's, and obviously we're just hearing what you're all saying. On IMDb, the movie manager is listed as Miss Mackenzie, not Missy Mackenzie. As
Her name tag says Missy.
Yeah,
In the
looks.
movie.
If you look at Wikipedia, Jennifer Schwabach Smith's Wikipedia, the character is the. It shows her filmography, and 2001 it says Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Missy Miss Mackenzie, and then you scroll down. Apparently, she was also in Yoga Hosers, and Jay and Silent Bob Missy Miss Mackenzie. So
What's Greg
take that,
laughing at?
DJ Kento.
Because
Greg's
it's
laughing.
what I did, I went to do it. I clicked on DJ Kento's name to time him out, and King Franchise 88 accidentally banned him. So justice was served without me having to do anything. That's how it is. It was a mistake. It has been reinstated. So yeah, it's explaining that 18 years ago we had a child. Yeah, I have a child. You have a daughter, Jay. Jay freaks out about it a little bit. And that, but like, so you want to go meet her? Let's go meet her. However, you can't, I told her dad went away. Like, I don't want her to meet you now. Like, she's been fine. We shouldn't do this. She's a great kid, yada, 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 which is,
But we should definitely have this conversation extremely loud as we walk up the stairs, and then again, right outside the door.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They walk upstairs, knock on the door. Her friend answers the door. I don't remember this character's name. her friend, everybody. She's deaf.
The deaf one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, Sopapilla. This is Sopapilla.
Yes.
Sopapilla
right.
answers the door, and Jay's like, "I'm gonna need a blood test." Funny joke. Then Harley Quinn Smith enters the frame, and it's actually her. She's like, "I told you to keep these meth heads locked up or tied up till the cops come. They're not meth heads. They're from Jersey." And everybody's like, "Oh." They're explaining his old friends. They get to wander around the room, see what's happening. They find a bunch of ribbons. She's very smart. She's doing all these different things, winning awards and crap as kids do.
One of the things on the walls is a poster for a movie called Bussing in the style of the first Clerks type font and all that stuff. And Bussing was gonna be what Clerks ended up being, and it was gonna be a movie about bussing at a restaurant.
What do you mean it was going to be? So he was going to make that, and then he changed it all to Clerks?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. And then Waiting just ripped it off?
I guess so.
Okay.
Ray, you ever watch Waiting?
Was
I have
Kevin
watched Rating.
Smith involved
Yeah.
in Waiting?
Hasn't aged well, but pretty funny. I don't
Sure it
think
did.
so.
I mean, at the time, it was like there was good parts and bad parts to Waiting. It was like, all right, whatever.
Do you know there's a Waiting 2? Still waiting.
Is Ryan Reynolds in it?
No.
Direct to DVD?
Yeah, probably. The
Tim,
other
I
guy
like
Is it really
is,
called Still Waiting?
it really is called Still Waiting.
Tim, I'd like to officially vote for Waiting and Review.
Waiting and review.
No, we
much.
really can't do those movies.
No,
They
I'm
like
good.
I watched them recently, and they are like, whew, there's
Isn't there
a
a whole
lot of
plot
stuff.
point to the first one of like showing everyone like you
Yeah,
work
your
with
balls.
your balls and
Yeah,
dick?
yeah. And then the point is to then hit him because it doesn't matter.
Well,
We shouldn't get into it then.
Hey, man, in Clerks 2, we had a white guy saying the N word like nonstop. Like,
Yeah, man,
how
that's a-
much worse could it get?
I worked in restaurants in the late 90s or early 2000s, and they required you to show your balls to the table. So I don't know why.
Table.
Kevin's-
Wow, that
Yeah,
escalated. I didn't
everyone.
see that one coming.
Would you guys like some bread?
Everyone.
Also, here are my balls, and you pull the little what do they call it, apron away, and it's just your two boys are there saying hello. Hello.
You're wearing chaps.
The two bald boys.
God damn it.
Like the manscaped.com. No, anyways, so again, it's all set up here. She's a good kid. This is her life. She's had a whole life. This is what's going on. She does not like Jane Silent Bob from the look. They say offensive things to Sopapilla. Finally, Shannon Elizabeth's like going out of town. So she's like, I left you $200 in the icebox, do all this different stuff, keep going to school or whatever. I don't know what the fuck she says. Jane said, Bob, come on, I'll take you home. And they're like, all right, bye. It was nice to meet you. Going downstairs, he's like, it's not bad enough that I have to meet your kid. Now I have to meet your husband. And she's like, oh, you're not about to meet my husband. In walks Rosario Dawson. They are in fact married. They are lesbians. They're in love. And this is come quick thumb dick. Rosario Dawson, thanks him for basically
Killing the game.
being
Once again,
such.
I
She's
love
so
her.
good. She's so good. Being a shitty lover and shitty person makes it kind of sound like this just pushed her down this path. And then, they're going to Cabo or something like that. I forget, someplace I've never been. And they get in the car and they're like, see you later. And they're like, all right, you should come back when you're on your way back to Jersey, you should swing back by, maybe you could spend some more quality time with Millennium and Millie, as they'll call her throughout the rest of the film. They're like, cool, bye. As soon as they turn around, Sopapilla and Millie are there. And they're like, they have a whole sob story kind of thing of like, hey, we were wondering if we could come with you to California into Hollywood. And they're like, fuck no, why would we take you to Hollywood? Yeah. At which point they pull out switchblades and like, listen, motherfucker, we're going to Hollywood with you. You got to pull out your Ride Me Now app and book us a car, and we're all going to go to fucking Hollywood. And they're like, all right, cool, fuck. So they do that, and then we're in the car. Sorry, Kev.
I was just gonna say, later it's revealed that their plan was to take the minivan and go to Hollywood on their own. I feel like it would have been a better idea to have them drive. Just why do they deviate?
Free
Really
ride.
good question. Really good question.
I mean, I don't have it for either, but I mean, free ride, and also the fact that I guess then if they got in trouble, they could blame them if this all went wrong.
Maybe.
Maybe they want the muscle too, the bodyguards. I don't know.
I
feel
mean,
like I remember when this got revealed later on. Did they not have some kind of justification for why it happened?
I don't think so. I mean, at one point they use Jay to fight some dude to steal his van,
Yeah.
who ends up being a pedophile. Or
No,
maybe not a
the
pedophile.
credits show he's
depending
not
on
a
the credit-
pedophile.
yeah.
He's a Christian superhero or vigilante.
But I mean, I feel like that's a great thing to say if you're caught being a pedophile,
Oh,
Ironclad
shit.
defense. Chris Hansen sits you down. You're like, sorry, I'm a Christian vigilante. He's like, oh fuck, sorry, leave. These chat logs don't matter anymore.
That's why I have the outfit on,
I do like the reference to Dom DeLuise's character in the Cannonball Run.
Totally.
I think it's in the credits, but I love that. If you've
I
never
thought it
seen
was in the
Cannonball
movie. It
Run.
doesn't matter. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's in the movie.
We're ahead of ourselves. We're ahead of ourselves. They're in this Ride Me Now thing, getting to know each other. Of course, they go to smoke weed, and Jay's like, "You can't smoke weed. You're just a fucking kid, and yada yada yada, and you shouldn't do this, and you shouldn't because you're a kid. You're a kid." And she's like, "Fuck, fine, geez, you know what I mean? You guys suck." And then she's like, "What if I eat some chocolate? Can you eat some chocolate?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." And so they feed him chocolate, and it's edibles, and they flip out. And then like, "We got it though, because we smoke weed all the time." Then they immediately pass out. They awake in a dream state.
It's fucking Method Man and Redman, and there's so many how high jokes, and I fucking love every single thing about this. Why are they the best actors in this whole fucking movie?
Great point.
I love
Great
this
question.
scene. They killed it. They just
Great
fucking
scene.
killed it.
Great scene. And yeah, I forgot when they were talking, when Jay and Silent Bob were talking to Brody a long time ago, they talked about, similar to the Morris Day and the Time joke, that Method Man and Red, they modeled their whole fucking lives on them or whatever. And they had How High, the DVD.
It's great.
Yeah, and they give him, they give Jay advice basically of like, anybody can be a father, but it takes somebody special to be a dad, or vice versa. I'm not sure which one's more powerful. I'm just a dad to Portillo. And so that's what he needs to hear. And they do the whole thing about flinging and come around the car. And then they wake up, on the road. Bob's in a Christ-like pose. Jay's pants are down, and he's face down in Bob's crotch. They come to, they separate. A new girl enters the fray. I forget her name too. I don't remember people's names from this one as well, because I've only seen it twice.
One of them is named Jihad, right? And
That's her. She enters the frame, and she's
Aparna
like,
Brielle is the actress. She's one of Cool Greg's favorite actresses of all time
she's a good actor.
because she's in a show called AP Bio that he really loves.
Huh, okay. She enters the frame. She's got it on Instagram. Jay yells, "Terrorist!" She's like, "Terrorist? Where?" I was like, "Oh, you fucking mean me, you idiot!" And she's like, "Well, my name is Jihad," which is like, that's a weird one. Okay. But she's got this huge knife, and she's like, "Don't fuck with me," kind of thing. And he's like, "Fuck, do all girls carry knives now?" At this point, the rest of the crew comes in. It's Sophia, it's Millennium, and then it's the girl from China who talks into her thing really quietly and is making a podcast, whose name again I don't remember either.
Yeah, that one. I don't
Too many
remember.
fucking people. There's too many fucking people on this list for me to keep that track for you. And again, nobody's name really matters. She's doing a podcast. This is their group. They all met in an online support group. They're doing this thing, and this is all part of the plan now, where they're gonna get a car. What do you mean? Car starts coming. Get out of the road. Everybody runs back. They explain. I think this is where they break out the blueprint, very much like Mallrats, of like, this is the Operation Pedo or whatever the hell it is that
Predator editor.
Thank you. Millennium poses online as an underage girl. She then has people come meet us here. Then we steal her cars and take off. What do you do? And Jay's debating this whole thing as, yes, this guy drives up in his weird Christian vigilante outfit that is a nod to Dom DeLuise and Cannonball Run. Like, all right. Sure.
I love it.
All right.
That proves to me that Kevin Smith is closer in age to me than you guys, because you guys probably have no idea what we're talking about right now.
No. Oh, yeah.
But you do,
No, I
Greg,
know.
because you're
Yeah,
an old ass
I
motherfucker
remember
too.
Kingdom.
Even though at Ben, please be excited, just refuses to think you're old too. But eventually, I'm
What's
sorry.
because you're older than me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How
A
about
lot,
did it
a lot
better.
older.
When you die of old age, all the old jokes will move to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got like
I
another
look
2
forward
years.
to that day.
For like 6
I look forward
months.
to that day.
Jay comes over, he beats the shit out of the vigilante, throws him on down. They take the car. What would have happened if we hadn't shown up? Oh no, actually, this doesn't happen. What would happen if we hadn't shown up? This is all part of the plan. I fucked it up.
There's two things
Hey.
that I want to bring up that people have talked about a lot with this not kind of funny. Jay and Silent Bob reboot being related to kind of funny is that Silent Bob has the pin on him and the
Smiley.
hat with the smiley that looks very similar to the kind of funny smiley, but it's just like a flat line, and it's definitely not related to us at all. But
he's
people
Predator
every once in a while will tweet at us images of that. But then there's also this thing of the Predator editor, which, if you remember on the Game Over Greggy show we did with Kevin Smith, he was supremely impressed with the producer seducer nickname for Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
didn't we bring up Predator Editor though?
We talked about a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I
We talked
I think
about-
that in a
yeah, we
very
talked about-
roundabout way, we were the origin of this.
Andy, I would like
Yeah.
you to draft a cease and desist letter, all right, to Kevin Smith.
Okay, I'm on it, Greg.
Wait, Andy's
I
not
do-
the
I do
lawyer.
think I do remember talking to him about the position that they used to call producer editors as predators.
Predators.
Yeah. Which was a cool name then, but now
Who are we
you
suing?
can't call anyone a predator.
Who
even
we
now.
suing?
Kevin
Let's sue
Smith.
everyone.
Sue
Fuck
everyone.
it, dude. Let's sue
Greg,
fucking
I
TG
just
Burt in the
composed
chat.
the tweet. I'm tweeting it out right now. If you wanna,
I'm on it. Hold on.
if you wanna retweet it.
I'm on it. I'm going to your page. Is it live?
Yeah, it's live right now, guys. That's
Should I be pulling this up for the kids to watch?
Oh wow.
You heard me
just
typing.
gibberish. It's KJG, KKJ, FN, K. It's all fucking gibberish. Good job, Andy. It's been
Thank you.
retweeted. I think it'll really speak. Because this is one of those things similar to like when IGN would do like we're watching E3 live and you'd make the headline and then you put in the body of the story developing. Like this now shows clear intent for us to send a cease and desist, and we can fill in the information later. And now people got it.
Obviously, his team's gonna know with Levin Smith at the end. Like they're gonna know
of course.
that we're coming after him. Yeah.
Oh, Levin Smith. Yeah, no, you nailed it. You nailed it. I missed that. That's how it ended. No, you fucking crushed it. I'm very proud of you, Andy. I'm happy to know you. The girls drive away at the car. They leave Jay and Silent Bob there. Jay and Silent Bob are like, that fucking sucks. Then they walk. They walk, right?
Yeah, they walk. Where was it?
They walk.
Did they get food somewhere?
They walk, and eventually, they find the van. They find the van. Did they get
got some
thrown out of
coffee.
the van?
Didn't they bring coffee to the van?
When
It
did
just
the white
randomly
supremacists
they're just
come
like,
in?
we're here.
Yeah,
And
no, I
they're
know.
all
We're trying to
together.
I'm missing the point that links us from this scene to
the
the
ca-
white supremacists.
yeah.
That's what I'm missing right now.
I'll pull up the movie.
No, I'm doing the same thing. I'm scrubbing through. All right, so they don't get left on the road there. They get in the car and they ride while they're looking over the plans. Ah, you're right. Thank you very much. Okay, so they get in the car. They
Did you
drive
say
with the
you're
girls.
right to the movie itself?
Oh, he was saying it to you because they go get
got it,
they go
okay.
get food, right?
Good
I
job,
thought
movie.
you were like, oh, you're right. That is what happened.
No, I was saying you guys were right because I think you mentioned getting food. That was what I'm missing here.
And that's
so
where
they
we
get
get
in the car. They catch up. They talk to Harley Quinn. Millennium about the whole thing. It's a very heart tender moment. She brings up the whole dad thing. I think this is where she cries for the first time, right? Of like, what do you have to be like fucking sorry about? Like, you know what I mean? We all met in an online support group. For people who don't know their dads or whatever. Everybody has a really sad story. She has this super sad story, or she's not knowing what it is. I think her performance is really good throughout the film. And I think her here being when she breaks down in tears, whether it's in the van or on the street, I can't remember, but about like, never knowing her father and was he not good enough? Why was she not good enough kind of thing. They drive, like I was saying, they stop at a Movies again to get some food from the fast food thing. It's a fun thing, I think, of, again, Jay trying to be a dad or whatever, where he's like ordering for the girls and she keeps saying from the back they're vegan. He has no idea what that means. Just give me a fucking cow tipper and 5 milks. At the same time, though, somebody jumps onto the roof of the van. They're like, what is that? Jay and Silent Bob get out. It is Merkin himself, Fred Armisen, back in the film, throwing hater tots at them, and reading the review and being super pissed off. And he's like, yes, I know what a Merkin is. It's a pube toupee. He continues to scream at them, and they're like, fuck, what are we going to do kind of thing. And at this point, Harley Quinn Smith, Missy, she gets on the roof of the van, does the chokehold she's done a couple times already. Goes, sleep. It's not a good chokehold, Nick. I think
terrible chokehold.
Okay.
If you're ever gonna apply a rear naked choke, do not apply it with this arm out, because that's how you unwrap the choke. That's also how you can break someone's arm.
They knock him out. He falls off the van. She gets back down. Jay and Silent Bob are like, this is great, awesome. The van tears away. They're like, what the fuck? They toss the blueprint out. The last blueprint thing is to ditch Jay and Silent Bob.
Greg.
Yeah.
Nick's still putting him rear naked choke. Greg's still doing it, or Nick's still doing it.
Andy, do you think you can get out of that right now?
Easily.
No
Really?
way. I put you in a fully sunken rear naked
Break your
choke. You're
fucking
going to
arm.
sleep in 3 seconds, bro.
Easily, dude.
3
I just
seconds.
The problem I think is that
belly.
Andy's got such a small head and Nick's got such big biceps that the biceps would be, the physical.
It's like trying to hold a pee, right? It would just
Yeah.
Exactly, it's gonna slide right out. Andy's gonna be like the fucking senator and X-Man. Go all like liquidy, get out of it.
I love interview.
All right, so Jay and Silent Bob are on their own now. The van drives away. Now Jay and Silent Bob walk. They just walk along the road until they fucking come across. I forget what it is. There's some doodad here. There's something they want to get that they walk over to, and then behind it is in fact the van parked and abandoned. They go in there, the girls aren't there. They're like, where could they be? And I think Bob does this patented like tapping points, and then it's a giant Klan rally over there with a burning cross and Chris Jericho as the Grand Wizard or whatever, and he's fucking laying it out or whatever. He's talking about hater tots and stuff. They all have hater tots, but basically
this was a moment that made me laugh out loud, not because it was funny, just because it was so like they look over and there's a fucking Klan rally. I was like, what the fuck is this movie? Like, how the hell is this what's happening right now? And it's such a bizarre turn where it's like, I feel like we live in this scene way too long. And once we get out of it, it's like, why did that just happen?
Well, also like
It's
the
so
conclusion,
bizarre.
I feel like isn't super fun, or like it just they smear shit on them and they drive away.
right.
Well,
that's
they
what
do
they're going to. They're going to the
They
porta
did the
potty.
Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross reference, which is fine, but
Ben
I'm
Affleck
like,
role, right?
I think he
Or is it
might
Alec
have been in
Baldwin?
it. It's Alec Baldwin was
Alec
that was
Baldwin. You're right. You're right. I'm way wrong. Sorry, I'm thinking of the other.
You're thinking of Boiler Room.
Boiler Room.
Yeah. Yeah, but it doesn't. But that scene's so weird to me because I was like, oh, it's Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross, but then it just doesn't work.
Then
that's
for
the
this
thing,
to be
so-
Kevin Smith's like dialogue, it's like, why? Why was this what Silent Bob said? He talked a lot, didn't say much.
That's because he's just reading the movie script from another movie. Because this is just
I
the speech.
understand,
From,
but why?
A
Right?
distraction. I'm sure Kevin Smith likes that movie a lot.
Cool.
Yeah, so as we've all said, he comes down, Silent Bob gives the Glenn Ross speech to distract everybody. At this point, Jay goes up and frees the girls. Then they run back to the van off screen, tie the porta potty to the van. Then he's like, duck, and he's like, all right, Jericho's like, all right, I'll bite, duck what? And then they come in with the van, they spin it around, the shit flies all over them. Bob jumps in the thing. As they peel out and drive away, Kevin Smith's daughter leans out and goes, whatever, fuck you, you dirty sheep fucker. The exact same line Jay yelled about the sheep fucking and strikes back. Fuck you, you dirty sheep fucker. From there, we've made it to Hollywood. This road trip didn't take too long. Don't worry, we're going to make Chronic Con, no problem. Which we haven't talked about, and that's the whole point they're trying to get to, by the way, because that was Shen Yu's thing she wanted to do before she was sent back to China and all the shit. And obviously, Jay and Silent Bob are going there to stop the movie because they saw a thing that Kevin Smith had done saying, like, we can't make this movie without this scene, so I need you, Chronicon, to be there and do it or whatever. So we arrive in Hollywood, and there's a montage of Hollywood things, including Kevin Smith's own wiener dog getting walked across the way there that we had met. Remember that when we podcast? Walking through the same hills.
Wasn't feeling good that day.
Excellent.
Sad.
He wasn't. No, he was fine. Remember, it was his other dog that was sick.
Oh, it was Shecky was one of them, right? Did Shecky pass away, or was it?
No, Shecky's the wiener dog. He
Okay.
was fine the day we were there, and I think he's still alive. I think I would have heard that. And
Remember when we went over and Shecky was on the patio and we were like, that
Still
dog's
like,
right
oh
Oh my
no.
god, it looked like
This dog's
was
gonna
fall.
jump.
Yeah, because
Cute
wiener dogs
dog.
are dumb. You know what I mean?
Cute
I'm
dog.
lucky that I got a really smart one, but
Who's cuter, Porty or Shekel? What's his name?
Portillo,
you-
I think is cuter.
Portillo's way cuter. All right, let's not.
I mean,
be
I
insulting.
don't know.
Kevin, you don't have tastes. We knew that. All right.
Wow.
Take it back.
All right. Stop. Well, no.
Take it back.
On April 8th, there's the last photo on his Instagram here with Shecky, but I would have heard by now. That's the kind of stuff that would stick with me if Shecky had passed. Oh, sorry, movie. So we're in Hollywood now. We're at Chronicon. The whole team walks in and they're like, and look up, and everybody obviously is dressed like Jay and Silent Bob because it's Chronicon, because they're dressed like Blunt Man and Chronic or Jay and Silent Bob and all this different stuff. And so, the Millie is like, why is everybody dressed like? Why is everybody dressed like you? Why are you dressed like everybody else? And he's like, everybody's dressed like us. They then go to like the Hot Topic store there to get everybody clothes to fit in or whatever. It's run by Adam Brody of the OC and Shazam fame.
So weird.
Yeah,
So weird.
I love it. Hey, he's in the
I love
DC
it, though, yeah. He's
universe.
great.
Why
he's
not?
in the DC universe. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just I don't know. I understand Craig Robinson. I understand Fred Armisen. I don't understand what this.
Listen, man, when
cameo
you're Kevin Smith and someone reaches out and says, I have any sort of notoriety, let me be in your movie, you have to say yes. You have to say yes. Like, and this is no disrespect to Melissa Benoist, is that how you say her last name?
Yeah.
But like, granted, she's notable for certain circles. I forgot who she was at first. I had to look her up, but like, he got her to be in it. Cool, she's in it. Val Kilmer couldn't speak, put him in the movie. Doesn't matter.
Now you can take it back about Melissa. All right, you know who Melissa is. You know Supergirl.
I was just seeing how pissed that would get. You. I know
Yeah,
she
Nick,
was- I know
she's
everything.
Supergirl. He directed a couple
Tim, is she
episodes.
Supergirl? Can you Google that real quick and see?
Hold on,
if
give me a
she's
second.
Oh,
She's Supergirl. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
He didn't fucking
Cool.
do it.
Of course not.
So yeah,
Put
they
it-
buy
he
the
put his
clothes.
pencil down and picked it back up. He was like, I don't need it.
They buy the clothes, and as they leave doing that, they run into the boys who bought weed from them before in Jay and Silent Bob. $15, little man. This set them on their own thing. They've started their own weed business. They're making a bunch of money now. If Jay wants to buy some weed, they won't give him free weed, so they sing the song to Jay and get them, whatever. Turnabout's fair play.
A lot more expensive this time.
Of course, yeah.
Watching Andy during in review is one of my favorite things of the week. I just love it. Just seeing his face react to certain things. It's usually reacting to Kevin. Usually reacting to whatever Kevin's got going on, whatever he's munching on down there. Oh man.
It's fettuccine Alfredo. I didn't know it was coming, but it's here now.
I don't think there's anything better than like that for a whole week, where it's just Kevin's hand in front of the webcam.
From there we get the Chris Hemsworth bit. Right now everybody's in character, they're all dressed up, they're ready to go. The holographic Chris Hemsworth is there, to direct you around, which is basically go right or go left, but he does a whole the beginning thing of like, don't burn your dick off, don't do this, I wouldn't be caught dead in this kind of movie. And then eventually, if you want to go see the panels, you go that way. If you want to go be an extra, go that way. They're like, great. Both the girls break one way, Jay and Silent Bob break the other, and Jay and Missy come back together, or not Missy, Millie come back together, and like, what are you fucking doing? And Jay's like, we came here to stop the fucking movie, so if we're gonna stop Kevin James, I like that joke too. Kevin James.
I can't believe Kevin James didn't show up in this movie.
Yeah.
He was referenced so much where it's like he's gonna come, and then he never comes.
He should have been Paul Blart, cop, or whatever. He should have been like the Diedrich Harrington or whatever side character, and I didn't or whatever. Yeah, I didn't. I did not nail that one. You know who I mean, though. No. Batman from the animated Batman show. I guess 3 Batman in this movie. 3 Batman.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
He was.
Anyways, I digress. Let's get back to it. I thought we're gonna stop the movie. We want to get Shen Yu into the fucking movie or whatever, and he's like, "Well, cool, but like you gotta do this." And so there's like this sad thing of like, "All right, cool. Well, this is a goodbye kind of thing, yeah." And like you said earlier, like, "Oh yeah, it sucks your dad never met you because you're a really cool kid and he would have liked you or whatever." And she's like, "Thanks."
I like that.
They embrace and separate.
Why don't they have a plan of like, okay, then we're gonna go back together to Chicago?
Well, Jay and Silent Bob, a deleted scene. Jay and Silent Bob's plan is to murder Kevin's family. They know they're going to jail forever. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they are aware that they are about to murder someone and probably have several other people to get to them because they need their names in jail. I digress. They separate. Jay and Silent Bob go into or try to get into the VIP room. They're stopped by Batman.
Diedrich Baker.
Batman stopped him again.
Yeah, but real talk,
his security.
How the fuck is this 19 years later from that movie?
He looks
from
the same.
And he looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
Lucky, man. Good genes, you know what I mean? Took care of himself.
So nuts.
Drink a lot of water, Tim. Drink a lot of water, Tim.
He won't let him in there because that room protects America's greatest natural resource. Actors, writers, directors, podcasters.
Dude, the fucking cameo here, it got me. It broke me so bad. It's so fun. It's so self-aware. It's like, hey, let's just have this guy that nobody fucking knows. And like, let's have
but we all know.
Asshole. And then, yeah, exactly. And then let's like explain who he is for the people that don't know. Loved this bit.
They had been doing the Keith Coogan joke since Brody's shop, right? The dishes are done, man. Keith Coogan. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. Keith Coogan classic, which is such a weird reference. And they did it once more. And then, they do it this time. Keith Coogan comes out, right? And that they're out of whatever food. I forget what it is. And he's like, wait for it. Dishes are done.
The dishes are done, man. First off, have you guys actually seen Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead?
Yeah, I have to
film.
Google it, and it just like, oh my god, I forgot that's how that dude looks.
Yep.
Like, it's crazy.
He had a lot more hair back then.
Yeah.
Hey, man. So did you. All right. We all did. That's how it was. So they're like, okay, cool. That fucking sucks. And they don't have badges, so they can't get in anything. And while that happens, Jay and Silent Bob sneak in, to which Diedrich Bader's like, no, you fucking no. And so they give chase. Jay and Silent Bob run into a panel and sit down. This panel is Jason Biggs and James Vanderbeek talking about their experience of making the first Blunt Man and Chronic movie. In front of Jay and Silent Bob, sitting in the row, is Kevin's mother dressed as Silent Bob. They have a moment where they like do the like nice outfit kind of thing. this goes on for a while up there of like, just the self-referential shit we're talking about. Jason Biggs, same line he had, same character arc he had in the first Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back ride of just like, hates this, hates Kevin Smith, Jersey Girl ruined his career, all this stuff. James Vanderbeek just totally chill about everything, because if you're James Vanderbeek, you chill about everything.
He looks great, like phenomenal.
I know.
James Vanderbeek
doesn't look bad either.
Yeah.
Dude, James Vanderbeek fucking killed it on Dancing with the Stars last season. The only reason he had like fucking killed it. He is incredible, and it came out of nowhere. The only reason he went home was some really, really sad shit. He has like fucking 7 kids, and his wife had a miscarriage or something really, really, really bad.
Miscarriage.
5
So we had
kids.
to leave the show.
Well, sorry. Vanderbeek's #1 fan, Kevin Smith, or Kevin Coelho, coming off the bench.
I mean, he's very handsome.
He is.
Yeah.
At this point, Diedrich Bader runs in and is like, interlopers, and Jay and Silent Bob run off and then run in through different panels. I forget the order. I think the first one is Comic Book Men. They run into the Comic Book Men panel where our friend, kind of funny best friend and guest of the show before, Ming Chen, is giving a soliloquy about the death of Comic Book Men as they run through. Walt Flanagan's on that panel, which is a funny joke, because then when they run into the Clerks panel, it says Walt Flanagan #2, because there's now Walt Flanagan's on a second panel. This one's in black and white. They're in black and white. They scream. I don't think I skipped a panel, did I? Is it just they go from those are the 3 they do? Doesn't matter. They scream, but I like that joke again too, because again, whatever. The rules don't apply, and it's just a fun thing.
The black and white little homage is kind of neat, I thought.
Right.
And mostly just because I wanted to pause and look at all the cast and
Sure.
see what they look like now.
Well, you'll see him soon in the next Clerks. They run from that then into another room and shut the door behind them. And then from off screen, we hear Ben Affleck is holding McNeil go. I think it's the same. Look at these morose motherfuckers right here. Like somebody shit in their cereal. Bang. They turn around and we enter into the scene we're talking about. Actually, I think we cut away to go see, after we see them, we cut away to go see the girls can't get into the Blunt Man and Chronic filming. It's been cut off or whatever. Then we get the scene we've talked about already at length. Holden and McNeil talking and catching up with Jay and Silent Bob, right? And going back and forth and about the names and the other stuff. And then, what's been happening with him is that he has a kid, right? Alyssa comes in at one point with the kid, or Alyssa Jones comes in with, talks to them. You guys get finger cuffs, fucking finger cuffs. They both laugh. Why are you laughing? We're selling Chasing Amy, the one that won all the awards, to Netflix. They don't like the name enough. They might want to push it to something like finger cuffs. So, we'll tell them that you like it or whatever. Alyssa leaves with her partner, who's the same partner from Chasing Amy 1, or Chasing Amy, I should say, sorry. At which point they start catching up a little bit. Oh, no. She brought in Amy, the daughter. Then they both leave. It's just Ben, Silent Bob, Jay, and Jay's daughter, Logan, who is Amy. This is where, Ben lays it all out for him, right? Or Holden lays it all out for him, right? Of like, they decided to co-parent. They've been friends for 20 years. It made sense. Now they get to be part of each other's lives this way. They have this amazing child together. Holden's fell in love with, met another girl a year later who loves me, and does the same thing from Chasing Amy, which I appreciated. They catch up, like I was saying, and lay it all out there of like, that you think you're the star of your show, but you're not. When you have a kid, everything changes. You don't even get a third act. It's all about setting them up, and I fucking still laugh every time. I'm just like, you think you're Bruce Wayne in the story, but it turns out you're Thomas Wayne, or his mother, whose name escapes me. And he looks at the camera, like that's like most of the look at the camera, you're like, all right, whatever. That was a really good one. I really like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I explained that to my wife for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then she kind of nodded at me and was like,
She was like, "Why am I married to
not
you?"
do that.
Why am I
Let's finish
watching
this
this?
movie.
Can't you watch this in your closet? We built that for a reason.
This is definitely a
on
closet
your
movie.
MacBook.
For sure.
And yeah, of course. So this all inspires Jay, right? Of like, fuck, dude, Bob, I gotta be a dad here. You know what I mean? I gotta step up and do this. So he thanks Holden for it. He jumps up and he actually doesn't thank Holden for it. Or he does, but then he's like, hey, can you give me passes, some VIP passes? He's like, I'm fucking, king shit here. I'm keynote speaker. Sure, I can. Gives him a whole bunch of VIP badges. The girls are over there being dejected, and Jay and Silent Bob are walking in with their ladies, and they're like, all right, let's, we got passes. Let's do this. They're all excited. They run in, they get seated. There, everybody's there, everybody's dressed. Eventually Kevin Smith comes out and he's like, hey, everybody, it's me, Kevin Smith. And he does this whole Kevin Smith thing. Again, I think to Nick's point that in a movie where not only, in the Kevin Smith universe do so many people play dual parts, and like when we're watching Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, it was very much like Brody to Banky, is there that much nuance or difference necessarily? I think Kevin Smith does a really good job of being Silent Bob and being Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I remember the first time I watched, I really, really liked his performance, specifically because he's embracing every single criticism anyone's ever had of him and just putting it back on stage. I think it's cool.
Totally.
And that's the thing is, I like Kevin Smith, and I feel like getting actual Kevin Smith in this movie like makes it feel better to me. Like he's great. I like him as a person and a character. So it's like I enjoyed how much we got of him in this one.
How do you think you got Kevin Smith to me? I just like how you phrased that. We actually got Kevin Smith in this movie. I'm like, I think he just jumped on stage.
Oh, yeah.
I digress. Never mind. I'm joking around. Sorry.
So we set up the fact that this whole thing is we're going to do this scene here. Scene couldn't happen without you guys. Before we film this scene, though, we're going to show you a bit of the movie. So they show a clip that is Melissa Benoist about to face off with Val Kilmer. Chronic versus Blunt Man. It's the same Silent Bob joke, right? Of tapping on the phone and then showing him the thing. And it's like, all right, this does wear a bit thin.
I do love Melissa Benoist acting at like a bad actor. Again, I enjoyed her performance of like the awful line.
Again, she was on CW shows for a long time, so she
I
had
was
a lot of
waiting.
experience.
As soon as he fucking said it, I was like, well, the goal's open. They pulled the goal. When's Nick gonna come in on this one?
There it is.
There fucking is, you cowardly bitch.
Did
you really like The Flash?
Let's have a crossover with 15 different shows. So that's super
fucking cool. You know it's fucking cool. All right, there's no fucking.
What's this world? They're gonna go fight dinosaurs.
Goddamn mask reboot. Get the fuck out of here.
All they got for Brandon Routh used to be Superman. Let's put a helmet on him with a visor. It looks like he's gonna ride a scooter.
All right, for the record, that is a very dumb costume. I agree with that, Chris. So yeah, we see the whole thing. Tommy Chong pops up as Alfred. And they talk about weed and how stoners are, and this is where it totally seems like everybody's just improvising and nobody knows what's happening. All right, cool.
He has one line in this. I forget what it was.
I know what you're talking about, Nick. Yeah.
But it made me laugh so hard where he's like, "It's just not okay." Or what? It's like, oh, it's something with dogs. Something with dogs. And,
explaining money to dogs or something like that.
Oh yeah, it's like you're trying to explain money to dogs, man. They don't get it. Tommy Chong is a goddamn American treasure.
But it seemed like he had no idea what movie he was in, right?
He doesn't, man. He did 13 seasons of that 70s show. He has no idea what he's doing in that. He's great. Great.
The scene ends. It's to rapturous applause. Everybody's saying this is the second coming, and it's amazing. Kevin's welcomes. I think maybe they already did this, but maybe not. He welcomes the cock knocker enemy dudes who are this thing. I'm putting him here. Maybe if it wasn't.
Couldn't get Mark Hamill.
Before we shoot this. Sorry, what?
So couldn't get Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah, you wonder in the cock knocker scene where he punches through the wall. I couldn't. I was watching it this time. I was like, does Mark Hamill pop back out? And no, it just cuts away there.
There was a part of me that was like, oh, they're gonna show Mark Hamill, and then it didn't. I was like, they teased me. I can't wait to watch.
2019, he was back on. He's back on King shit. You know what I mean? He's out there with his Star Wars money. So yeah, Kevin's like, all right, before we shoot this, I gotta go backstage, do some director stuff. You guys get settled. He goes back there, just puts on a different jacket and starts smoking weed. At which during this whole thing, finally, Millie had put together that. Silent Bob looks a lot like Kevin Smith, and so she had a plan. You guys stay here. They went backstage there, right? And she knocks out Kevin Smith. She smokes out Kevin Smith. I forget what happens, but Kevin Smith is incapacitated, so that Silent Bob can come back out as Kevin Smith. He does. They say he lost his voice. The AD, who's the same AD, or not? He's not the same AD, but he was something in Jane Silent Bob Strike Back. He wasn't the AD like Jamie McKinney, but he was in that movie too.
I randomly looked that guy up. I think he used to be married to Shannon Elizabeth.
He did.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Also, he has one of the coolest IMDb pictures ever.
He looks like a crazy man.
His hair is obscenely large.
He looks like
What's his name, Kev?
like Penn and Teller.
I have to look it up. Yeah, you're right. It looks
Penn's
like
little brother.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's a weird
name,
right?
Yeah, Joseph D. Reitman.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, Reitman.
Yeah, he does have crazy hair in this one. You're right.
Beautiful.
He looks like a goddamn lion. It looks great.
He's all upset about it or whatever. He talks about that, and then what he does is he brings the girls up on stage because that's how they've orchestrated this whole thing. This is going to be the move to get Shen Yu into the thing.
Wait, quick question for Tim: did anybody walk around with sticks in the background? With the
question for Greg.
The lighting truss.
Oh, well, I feel like you were the one that was catching that. No,
yeah, you were really into the truss guy.
No, was it Greg? Greg, did anyone do it with the truss?
I didn't see him.
I didn't see it either. What a disappointment.
Literally last week, Tim was like, "I've never seen it ever. Greg always gets it." And Kevin's like, "Yo, Tim, you see it every time, right?" Shen Yu knocks out Silent Bob, pulls a gun, rips off her outfit. She's got a cat suit on underneath. She's like, I knew one of them had a cat suit.
I laughed at that line. Yeah.
Then she's like, that's not the real Kevin Smith. They bring out the real Kevin Smith. It's this whole reveal that she's a Russian spy, that, you know, all the cockknockers are Russian spies too, and they're here to take over America by, you know, killing Kevin Smith, and everybody's gonna live stream it and broadcast it. And like, this is their whole thing. I don't know, why not? Who cares?
It's so fucking weird.
In the same
So
breath, they had
weird.
dragged Silent Bob's body out and tossed him into the trash outside. At some point, he gets up, looks across, and sees the scrap metal yard out there. It looks like everything's going to go wrong. You know, she's going to execute Kevin Smith, but first she'll execute Millie, I think. I can't remember that part. Jay shouts out that, no, you know, she's like, she makes fun of her for not having a dad or whatever or something. She says something else about a dad, and Jay's like, maybe your dad didn't know she existed. And everybody's like, what? And Jay walks up, you know, confessing that he is, in fact, her father. She's like, what? Oh, no. Like, she's not happy about it at all. That he's the father, and that, you know, he doesn't want, you know, her to die, him to die, whoever to die without knowing it. And she's like, well, I'll just kill you and then I'll kill her. And he's like, fuck, I didn't think about that. At the same point now, the door starts getting knocked in or whatever. And Jay's like, and everybody's like, what the fuck's that? And he's like, oh, you're in trouble now. And I like this build up to this. So like, you're in trouble now. Like, you know what I mean? You made him angry. He's my hetero life mate, Silent Bob. And then maybe he says Iron Bob, I forget. But he finally
Iron
punches
Bob.
Iron
Yeah, it was
Bob.
Iron Bob.
But he says it very weirdly, and I'm like, was that the take we wanted to use, Kevin? That was the take we wanted to
They
use?
were
feel
out
like
of
that
film.
was-
They were out of film,
I
guys.
feel like it was a reference to Schuler Bop again. They knocked down the doors.
Wait,
and
there was one tiny scene that I actually laughed at where he goes and is like, I'm just trying to, like, what did he say? He was just trying to, like, talk till he got to the guy with the big gun, and then he goes to shoot the big gun, and it was like, it's not real. It's like, yeah, that's funny.
Bob comes in and just starts fucking people up, and he's got the Iron Man display in there, and he's just fucking, it's like anarchy now. People are shooting and everything's going on, and they're running around hitting everything, and everybody's fucking pandemonium fighting out there. That happens for a while, and eventually Shen Yu, right? She's like, she takes her microphone and then uses an audio thing, and everybody drops down. She's like, oh, it's this Russian tech or whatever, right? And then, of course, Sophia is deaf, as we said earlier. She knocks her out. She's like, hearing's overrated. And yeah, that's done. The cops take them away. Everybody's reunited and happy. And Kevin Smith is smoking weed. He's like, all right. And he starts narrating what he's doing in the actual movie, right? Of like, all right, all the characters, end of third act, the characters where they need to be. Maybe I'll and they crossfade to being back outside the stores. And
I enjoyed that bit, like for what this movie is. I enjoyed the kind of talking out as the fade happened, but the transitions otherwise in this movie are so freaking horrible that Gia called out as one was happening. She's like, what is with this movie and its transitions? Every single one is so fucking bad. And as she was saying that, it was the transition where the camera pans up and it was just Jay's fucking ass up towards the camera. And it's just like, why? What's the point of this shit, man?
They wanted to
So
get
I feel like
picture
that stuff
for Instagram.
weakens this like calling out the transition joke, but hey, whatever. I got to give this movie points where I can.
We're outside the stores, and Jay walks up with Millie. They lean on the sides of the RST video, and start talking a bit about being father and son. And he starts to say something that makes it sound like he's about to bail on her. She cuts him off, like, you want to go? And he's like, no, you didn't let me finish. Like, I'd want to start with father and daughter stuff. And Bob walks up with coffees and gives them coffees, like having a coffee and teaching stuff. And Bob moves to the side to give them their space or whatever. And so Jay starts, running through a bit of life lessons, right? Of like, get a best friend who will always be by your side, right? And always be there for you. Just like Silent Bob. Silent Bob gets choked up about that. He does a few little messages about, God looks exactly. He already said that God looks like Alanis Morissette thing, but again, recapping their adventures or whatever. And it's just a sweet little moment, right? That I think is well done for both, or everybody in the scene, but specifically Jay and Millie, of like them really connecting and stuff. Again, I never watched Yoga Hosers, I never watched Yoga Hosers, and I think in Tusk, Harley Quinn Smith's in it for like 2 seconds. So I was like, I don't really know anything about her as an actor or whatever. I thought she was really good in this, and I thought she had a good emotional range in terms of, when she's doing the knife stuff and being like tough. Maybe not so much, whatever, but like definitely when she was driving home the I'm a heartbroken girl. Or I just want to be with my dad. I'm a lost daughter kind of thing. I thought that all was really, really well done. Anyways, as this happens, like Dante pulls up to start opening the shutters or whatever and picks him up, and they're filled with gum, and it puts it down. And then it ends, and I was like, fuck, did I watch a deleted scene? And then, of course, we pick up with the credits that are a whole bunch of deleted footage and stuff like this, right? The jokes about Hollywood, California, the jokes about him being a Christian vigilante, all these different goofy things. But my favorite one is the very last one where Jay's like, yo, you want to know something? Every night for 25 years, we've been coming here and putting gum in the locks. I was like, I love
a Greg Miller thing, man.
It's like such. I know that, and I'm not saying like it is what it is, and I do whatever you want to do with your properties. And I am excited for like the pitch we heard for Clerks, the Clerks 3 or whatever. But if you would have said this was the final View Askew movie, like I would have been like, oh man, what a beautiful way to end it, and like what a great spot to drop it in. Of like literally like the first thing from Clerks 1 is the last thing of this movie. I digress.
Nick, I don't know if you remember this, but the scene where he's shooting, where it was Kevin Smith and Stan Lee at Comic-Con.
It was on the boat at Comic-Con, yeah.
And that was, they were shooting that literally as me and you were walking by. We were like 50 feet away from that when Stan Lee was talking to Kevin Smith.
So
on that boat.
freaking cool. So cool.
So
really
weird.
cool.
Like what a random ass time.
Are you guys in the movie, you think?
No, I mean, I did look in the bag and I was like, no, you can see where we would have been though. There's a lot of people though. It's
we were there. We'll just say yes, Tim. We'll just and
Yeah,
then
you
we'll
were
add
there.
ourselves to IMDb and it'll be fine.
You were there.
I
Starring
love it.
Tim Gettys, Nick Scarpino, Jay and Silent Bob.
Starring.
Nugan.
That's it. The end of the View Askewniverse.
7 syllables in the middle. You need 5 for the first and last line. If you're not poetic, no need to fret it. Haikus don't need to rhyme. Haiku in review. Haiku in review.
You can go to patreon.com/kindoffunny to write your reviews in haiku form, just like Daniel Edmonds did. I hate this movie. This one deserved to be skipped. Waste of an hour. John Lestrina says they gave us some laughs, but they were showing their age. Got me with Stan Lee. And the final one is from Bumbleboy Wonder, who says Harley's all grown up. Shed a tear with Ben Affleck. Fuck absentee dads. And also leaves a nice message here. The way you guys talk and the lack of submissions makes it seem like this has been the lowest watched in review, but I appreciate it. Finally got me to not be silent after all these years and actually write in. So there we go. This in review did something good. Thank you,
Was this the least
Bumbleboy Wonder.
successful interview?
Yeah.
Undeniably.
I like how it's like the way you guys talk about it, but also the numbers on the view counter.
Yeah, this will
That's
definitely go down in
impressive, too.
history at some of the lowest performing videos we've ever done. Especially as but you know what?
I've had a great time.
I've had a great time with you guys. Let's do a little ragu bagu.
Ragu.
Oh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Rad Guys Talk Bad Guys, the podcast within a podcast where we rank all the villains of the View Askewniverse. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Andy Cortez,
Hey, guys.
Nick Scarpino,
Hello.
Tim Gettys, Kevin Coelho.
Ooh.
Today we're ranking the villain of Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, which I assume is Shen Yu.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's an actual villain, something we haven't had in a while. Currently, the list stands at number 1, Randall and Dante from Clerks 2. Number 2, the trio from Dogma. Number 3, Holden and his male insecurity. Number 4, Shannon and Michael Rooker. Number 5, Dante, his own worst enemy. And then number 6, N.A. James Silent Bob Strike Back. Where do we want to put Shen Yu?
Under NA.
Shen.
I just don't
I
even
feel like
care.
it came out of nowhere. She's not like, is she really the villain, or like at the end does she have a villainous moment and goes like she wasn't, you know what I mean? Like it just came out of nowhere and it seemed like it was another one of these story ideas that he made up on the fly. And I don't think that it needs to be on this list.
It does seem, Kevin, like they were 80% done with this movie. And you're like, man, we don't have a villain, huh? They just
It was
kind
all
of-
based around the cat suit joke. You know, you can see the origin of this. They're just like,
100%,
we got to get one of them in a
100%
cat suit,
joke.
and it has to be a Black Widow ripoff because originally the cat suits were a Black Widow ripoff. And
So I say that that makes it so that like the villain is weaker than not having a villain, like in Jane Silent Bob Strike Back. Like having a villain only so that you can have like a joke like that.
The joke made me laugh. unlike many other jokes in this series.
I'll
That's my
say
thing.
that
I think it's nonsense. Sure, like it is out of left field.
100%
Sure,
nonsense.
but I still think it's like it was a fun joke there to toss in.
I think that the movie, as absurd as it is, needed something like that at the end. I think it's unfortunate that it had to be at the expense of the main plot of the movie, which was, you're like, she has to go back to China in a week, and all she wants to ever do is be in this Kevin Smith movie. I was like, oh, that's actually kind of endearing, and kind of the emotional crux of like the conflict between Harley and Harley, I also call her, and Jay. But the fact that she ended up being a villain, I was like, oh, that's kind of out of left field. But we do get that wonderful moment where he's like Iron Bob, which I thought was pretty fun. And then like, I was going to sue someone. But I don't know. I liked her. But again, these movies
I think she's better than no villain. I think,
Yeah,
but I think
agree.
in all the other villains in the movies, right now, I would say she's number 6 over the NA of Jay and Silent Bob, but below all the actual problems and people we had from these movies before.
I like that.
All right, it's
Lock
done.
it in. Now it's time to rank the Askewniverse for the final time for now. Number 1, Dogma. Number 2, Chasing Amy. Number 3, Clerks. Number 4, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Number 5, Clerks 2. And number 6, Mallrats. Like I said earlier, I say it's number 1, but I just don't like these movies.
I think this is the last one in my book. This is the worst of these.
Man, this is so hard because I don't know if I like this more or less than Strike Back.
I for sure like it more than Strike Back.
I would put it above Strike Back. I feel like I enjoyed Strike Back all the way through more consistently.
Yeah.
But this movie I didn't really start to appreciate until the very, very end. When we started getting more emotional,
The Ben Affleck stuff.
the emotional weight of the movie. Yeah.
So do all three of you guys say above Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and below Clerks?
Yes.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Do any of you think it's above Clerks?
No.
Well, then that is our new ranking, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1, Dogma. Number 2, Chasing Amy. Number 3, Clerks. Number 4, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. Number 5, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Number 6, Clerks 2. And number 7, Mallrats. There you go.
Did Mallrats
The
dirty.
annals of history.
So
So a lot of people are wondering what our next in review is going to be. We're going to continue doing Lord of the Rings in review every Friday. This Friday is the Two Towers Part 1. Next week, Two Towers Part 2, Return of the King Part 1, Return of the King Part 2. But alongside that, on Tuesdays now, we're going to reveal right now. Boom. That's what we're doing.
Bam.
Baby. Star Trek, the
Shit.
Kelvin timeline. We're doing the Nolan not Nolan, the J.J. Abrams movies and the Justin Lin movie. So there we go. Star Trek 1, 2, and 3.
Damn
We're doing those on
I don't
Tuesdays.
have a 4K Blu-ray player anymore, Tim.
Oh, cry me.
You don't?
I mean, no, my Xbox One broke.
What happened to your Xbox
major.
One?
The HDMI port just doesn't read any cables anymore. It's so sad, Kevin.
Yeah. A lot of people have been asking about Nolan in review, Ghostbusters in review, and Top Gun in review. Ghostbusters and Top Gun we're going to save for when the sequels are actually coming out, probably, or I guess they're officially announced now next year. And Nolan in review is a weird one where I want to do it leading into Tenet. Tenet is still going to theaters, but we're not going to do it until people feel safe going back to theaters. And I know that we don't feel safe going back to theaters. So Nolan is indefinitely postponed for now, but we are going to do it eventually. So there you go. Continue to let me know what in reviews you guys want. Tweet at me at Tim Gettys, because 2 a week, it's a lot. So we're gonna in 3 weeks we're gonna be done with Star Trek. What are we gonna do after that? You gotta tell me. Let us know.
Jurassic Park.
The old
Jurassic
Star
Park,
Trek
we
movies?
gotta wait for the next one.
Conjuring.
Conjuring would be
Potentially
good.
Conjuring. Potentially Conjuring. Till next time.
Snoogans.
Bong.